Hello!
We're here! Yes!
Welcome to Sidewalk Slam, a wrestling podcast, vidcast, commentary show talking about storylines and narrative in WWE main roster wrestling with an attempt to look at the positive, because online wrestling discourse is always so negative.
This is going to be a tester, too. This is the tester episode for how positive can we be.
Well, last time I was
People were talking mad shit on the Paybacklash comments.
On the YouTube comments.
Oh, you guys aren't going to be
when we were I was like, I'm looking forward to X. And people were like, oh, you're in trouble. For those watching, you're already aware. If you're listening, you're maybe like, who's that third voice? We have a guest this time. It's a friend of Loading Ready Run, fan of this show, and employee at Wizards of the Coast, where Magic the Gathering happens. It's Matt Tabak.
Oh, that game. Hi, guys.
How's it going?
That's great.
Some small indie game.
Some small indie game. Little card game.
About to celebrate its 25th year. Yeah.
So, thank you guys for having me. I'm, like Graham said, a big fan of the show and a big fan of wrestling and big fan of being positive about the WWE.
Yeah. It's tough.
We'll try. And I'm happy to sit with you guys and chat for a bit.
Speaking of fans and positivity, there's been a lot of people on Twitter being like, if Matt ever comes up for a pre-release, you got to get him on Sidewalk Slam. And we were like, well, heck, let's make this happen.
We got him.
Yeah. Gosh golly gee, I came on up here to the great...
Would you say this is your get for the podcast? Like you got your get. So now I have to find a guest that I have to get somebody.
He gets, I got. It's great.
You can probably look up Sean Stasiak's number.
What's he doing these days?
He's a chiropractor.
He's a chiropractor, yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah, in Texas.
I did not know that.
We looked it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was great. So this episode, last episode we finally caught up with Payback and Backlash.
Yeah.
Pay Backlash. Some people were like, why not back pay? And it's like, Pay Backlash is funnier.
Yeah.
So this episode is Extreme Bank
rules.
Money in the rules.
Money rules.
Money rules.
Money rules.
It really does.
We'll be looking at.
I like money rules.
Money rules.
That's great.
We're going to be looking at Extreme Rules, the Raw brand pay-per-view, and then Money in the Bank, the SmackDown brand pay-per-view. And then hopefully we'll be in a situation where we can get back on individual episodes for individual pay-per-views, but maybe not. Who knows? We're playing catch-up.
Full disclosure, though, I need to level with the people.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't watch any of the lead up to Money in the Bank. So
I didn't watch a lot of it. So we'll figure it out. But we're going to start.
It was almost like we had a bunch of other things to do.
Yeah.
It's just like
we're here now.
Yeah.
I watched most of it, kind of. Yeah, no, I watched enough.
All right,
Okay.
cool.
I mean, Extreme Rules, I watched all Raw and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank.
Live from the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, and brought to you by American Grit, which is a reality show that John Cena is hosting.
Yeah.
It is Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules, since its inception, has traditionally been the pay-per-view where they allow extreme stipulation matches to happen.
I would put extreme in heavy air quotes.
It is the one night of the year, except for all the other nights of the year, when WWE goes extreme.
Yeah.
Except all the other times they do it. But this night especially.
It used to be, it was introduced as, because you remember they did ECW One Night Stand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they did a pay-per-view called One Night Stand Extreme Rules, which I do, to be fair, I do like the play on words in Extreme Rules, as in the rules of the match are extreme, but also the concept of extreme totally rules.
Much like money.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get to later.
And then they just transitioned it into just calling it Extreme Rules. It was the same thing with Vengeance, and then one year Vengeance was Vengeance Night of Champions.
Yeah.
And then it just became Night of Champions.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, they play it up as this is when all the crazy matches happen. That wasn't this year. It was
There
was a little bit of
not the most extreme rules we've ever seen.
No.
a little bit of plunder.
But I mean, everyone's argument is how extreme can you get in the PG era, right? Because when people think extreme, they think ECW, old ECW.
It's been better in previous years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that extreme is a well-branded word, but
That's true.
there were a couple things. There was
I mean, last year we had
cage.
AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually really liked this whole pay-per-view? I mean, obviously there's like one match that I had a problem with.
Yeah, actually, generally speaking, I actually found this match
the main event kind of did save it a little bit.
Yeah, I found the pay-per-view entertaining enough.
Yeah. I always find
just
it entertaining.
the extreme quality of it I take some issue with.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was a very enjoyable event.
Yeah. Kalisto defeated Apollo Crews in a singles match on the pre-show.
Yeah, Apollo Crews still doing like the Titus O'Neil thing.
Yeah. Titus Brand.
Titus Brand. And it's
I can't even do my hands don't do that.
It's okay.
Kalisto has a whole new intro now. Well, he's got new theme song.
Yeah, well, so the Lucha.
I guess it's his old. I don't actually know if it's his old music, but he's not entering to the Lucha Dragons music.
Right.
But he still does the.
Isn't it like a remix though? Doesn't it still do the Lucha and the
Well, he
theme
does
song?
He does the.
Doesn't
the
say it in the
dancing.
theme song?
I don't know. I can't recall.
I thought it was just a remix.
Oh.
Maybe I don't know.
It's a much more like techno. Yeah, but it still does the Lucha. But
yeah, they're both. I don't know. Both guys definitely feel, as far as like a storyline goes, like they're spinning their wheels a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the Titus Brand thing is.
There was a bit where Titus had a match against Kalisto. I think this is after this pay-per-view. Titus had a match against Kalisto and won by pulling the tights.
Yeah.
And Apollo Crews was at ringside and was like, "What do you pulled his tight? What was that? What are you doing?" And Titus is like, "It's fine." And Apollo's like, "No, I have a problem with it, but not enough to actually do anything."
right.
It's like
I'm enjoying this brand exposure, and yet I'm a good guy.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was just going to be. It might end up being just a full-on like heel turn for Apollo, maybe at some point, but. It's funny.
It'd be fun if he just snaps and beats the crap out of Titus.
Yeah, that's true too. Like maybe that's what he needs. Like this whole Titus Brand
Darren
thing
Young
is
come back and save his former tag team partner.
Oh, Darren Young.
Remember Darren Young? Remember how they were going to make him great
Remember
again?
him.
It was only like 3 months ago.
Yeah,
With
Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about.
then they
Darren
disappeared,
Young.
yeah.
Yeah, he just poof. I think this has been that whole Titus Brand thing too. Is like just letting Titus. It's been better for Titus.
Yeah.
because he's just super charismatic.
Just gives
and
him
he
stuff
gets
to do.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Anyway, main show. The WWE Intercontinental Championship match. The Miz defending against Dean Ambrose with the totally extreme stipulation that if Ambrose is disqualified, he loses the title.
Which makes complete sense from the character, the Miz's standpoint.
Right.
I feel.
Well, yeah.
The build-up all made sense, right?
I guess.
I mean, kind of, right?
Normally, they reserve this stipulation for when a heel is the champion and...
They just keep auto-disqualifying
Yeah,
themselves.
but Ambrose is unhinged.
Yeah, sorry, not the Miz defending. Dean Ambrose defending.
Right.
Normally they keep this for when the heel is a champ and they keep getting themselves DQ'd to retain the title.
Yeah.
Right.
This is like Miz goaded Dean into accidentally getting himself DQ'd once and then petitioned for this stipulation to be put in.
Then he jumped on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ideally, it probably should have been Miz making Dean so mad that he would break the rules during the match.
Yes.
Right? But that wasn't really happening. Like
No.
Dean wasn't being pushed as a character like, hey, I'm getting really upset at the Miz and all I want to do is hurt him real bad.
Yeah.
But it was just like, they just made this stipulation, which makes sense from like, this is the kind of match Miz would want to have.
Oh, absolutely.
Ironically, like at an Extreme Rules pay-per-view, but the build, I don't know, I didn't really like the build that much. I thought it didn't make much sense from Dean's standpoint.
Yeah, Dean was just sort of like, okay.
Right.
Like Dean was like,
Right?
I guess this is all happening to me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and aid it or stop it.
Yeah.
Right. Like I see the game plan from Miz's point of view, right?
Yeah.
He's got the,
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that makes sense from
Miz's
for one
motivation,
half of the character.
Miz's motivation and everything
Yeah.
that he did makes perfect sense. But Dean was just like,
whatever, man.
Okay.
I just want to fight.
I'm
here
the
to
lunatic
compete.
fringe.
Right.
He's unstable. He doesn't know strategy or anything.
I don't care about my brand. I am Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is a registered trademark of World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
I love how much that fires you up.
Well,
Dean
it's just-
Ambrose.
well, it's
He's
when-
crazy, man.
when
He
JBL's
doesn't follow any rules.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
strategy.
Yes, he's a complete lunatic who actually has no concept of reality. No, he just doesn't care about a lot of stuff.
Right.
He's not actually insane. So,
But this match.
so the match is, of course, Miz trying to get Dean to DQ himself, or more accurately, make the referee think that Dean did something worthy of disqualification.
In awesomely terrible and hilarious ways.
Yeah, getting his wife to slap him was the
that
best
was
part.
so good.
That
Slap
was the
me.
best
Slap
part.
me now.
Yeah, he's like, just hit me. Yeah, it was great. This was also, wasn't the only other didn't they mention this on commentary? They're like, the only other match to change hands on a disqualification was Randy Orton against Christian.
Yeah.
Oh, the title to change hands.
Yeah, the title changes on DQ.
Because they had the same stipulation.
The same stipulation,
Right.
but they did it a lot better. Like,
Yeah. And that was Randy Orton, the heel, at that time.
I think so, yeah.
having the stipulation.
Was that like severe anger issues, Randy Orton?
No, he was just a dick.
No, just like
Okay.
Christian, I think I remember watching that match and Christian like spit in his face. And that caused Randy to like go just lose it.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, because it's the getting Maryse to slap Miz is because if someone from outside, like if Adam and I have a match and Matt hits me, then that by the rules
Right.
that helps Adam. So Adam gets disqualified and I win.
Even if me and Matt aren't even wrestle bros.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was kind of that great moment where the ref, like after Maryse slapped Miz, where the ref was like to Ambrose and Maryse, "Are you two together?"
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was just a brief moment where he was like, "Is this a plan? Or are you two?"
Yeah, and Dean's like, no. And the referee's not an idiot. He's like, okay,
Right.
this is the Miz trying to.
That's arguable how these referees are displayed sometimes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's because he's like, technically by the rules, outside interference attacking the Miz means that Dean should get disqualified because that's just how the matches work.
Right.
But the referee was like, we're gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Which we saw like the previous week, right? Didn't the Miz interfered in one of Ambrose's matches against someone I can't remember, but then
Yeah.
like Miz jumps the ring and then attacks Ambrose's opponent.
Yeah.
And is all smarmy about it, like
Yeah.
I
So-
got you DQ'd.
So the ref realizes what's going on and actually ejects Maryse, like sends Maryse to the back.
Gives her the old, you're out of
She comes back. Miz shoves Ambrose into
Yeah.
the ref.
Yeah.
Right.
And the ref thinks that Ambrose did it on purpose. I don't know why the ref would think that.
Because
but sure.
just launching yourself at referees is
Yeah.
a thing wrestlers do sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ambrose insists that Miz pushed him. But while arguing with the ref, Ambrose is distracted long enough for Miz to sneak up behind him and hit him with the skull-crushing finale.
Yep.
One of the best named finishers in
Yes.
all of wrestling.
Also, actually, both these guys have very protected finishers in terms of. We talked about that term, protected finishers, in terms of like, they don't always get to hit it, but when they do hit it, it generally is. It's like it wins.
Yeah.
And so he hits him with the skull-crushing finale and wins. The Miz is now a 7-time Intercontinental Champion.
Do you think he's going to pass Jericho? Because Jericho's like 9-time.
Something like that.
He's in second, right? It's
Yeah.
Jericho,
It's
then Miz.
Jericho then Miz.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, again, I would have rather, in a perfect world, I would have rather had Miz stay on SmackDown and be wrestling for the world title right now. Because I think he really earned it. But,
Yeah.
I mean, if this is what we get, this is what we get, right?
Yeah, the only reason I'm a little bummed is because we had really good Miz Dean Intercontinental feud on SmackDown
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
And it's just Miz and Dean feuding over the Intercontinental title. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
I like both of them, but it's the same feud.
Yeah. I
Still,
don't even actually know
again.
what's going on with the title now. What are they doing? Do you know?
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, with the Miz?
Like after this pay-per-view.
So the Miz, so now they've written Maryse off.
Oh, right.
So Miz and Maryse.
Miz has a squad of bears.
Yeah, so Miz now
Oh
has
shit!
the
right.
entourage.
Yeah, he has an entourage. Bo Dallas
yeah.
got to do something. Yes,
Bo
I
Dallas
forgot.
inspired a writer to cast him in the role of a teddy bear.
Yeah,
And
and Curtis Axel.
And
and Curtis Axel.
boy.
Marine 5 hookup, right?
Yeah, because they were in the Marine 5 together.
And so now they're the entourage.
that's awesome. Good for them.
Yeah.
and what a guy to be with too, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's great.
Was there a specific reason they wrote Maryse off?
So I read that they wrote them off because that sort of couples dynamic is now going to be Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis, now that they've debuted.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to do the sort of heel couple.
You can have more than one couple.
I'm not one of the writers,
Are they on
man.
SmackDown anyway?
No, didn't they, are they?
Yeah, they're on SmackDown.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Because they
are.
debuted at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that's right. I got that and Extreme Rules confused. So that's what I read. I don't know if it's true. This is just, dirt sheet.
I don't even know
I read that. I read that
We'll
same
get
story
to
actually.
Mike Kanellis, but I don't even know who he is. Like,
I actually don't know who Mike Kanellis is either.
Anyway,
So they are they're now the it couple.
yeah,
They, of course, came from us, from Impact,
yeah.
where they did pretty good work.
Oh, really? Huh. I'm interested to see. Anyway,
Pardon me.
Gotta stay on Raw. We're on Raw right now.
Yeah, it was a fine match.
Yeah, it's fun.
But yeah, the entourage is that Miz has like a group of people. When we were talking about the bear, there was somebody in a bear suit, and then another person also in a bear suit, and it turns out that it was Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, and now Miz has cronies basically, which is it totally works for him. So.
Yeah,
Miz is great. Okay, next match on this card is the mixed tag Noam Dar and Alicia Fox versus Rich Swann and Sasha Banks.
Yeah,
the ones that dance.
yes.
I've
never why I never pictured Sasha's never much of a dancer, is she? She does that thing where she
sort of sashay.
Have you not seen them do their post match dancing?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's how they became best friends.
Sasha and Rich Swann, Sasha and Rich Swann have been doing Rich Swann's post-match dance after matches.
And it's really more Rich Swann doing Rich Swann's dance and Sasha kind of just standing like a boss behind him.
Yeah.
But
No, I've been seeing her they've been doing it completely in sync. Doing
it's been
all the
more
moves
coordinated.
And
then they'll cut to the crowd and the crowd's doing it also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's really excited
Real
about
happy.
dancing.
We're not going to do it.
Wasn't this feud just Sasha and Alicia feuding? Really?
Kinda.
That was basically it. And then Noam Dar getting involved, and then Rich. They all kind of. This was basically just these people need something to do.
You remember last episode we were like, we don't watch 205 Live because there's just too much wrestling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I had someone hit me up on Twitter and be like, good.
Yeah, I saw that too. He was like, good. It's not been good. The wrestling, the matches have been good, but he's like,
the stories have been bad.
Yeah.
Because didn't this story have Cedric Alexander at one point?
Well, he got hurt.
And then they just sort of swapped Rich Swann in for him in the storyline?
Yeah, well, I mean, that whole, Alicia Fox is the crazy girlfriend, and Noam Dar, stole her from Cedric Alexander, but then Cedric got hurt, and I think they just kind of scrapped it, as is the norm in
So now
wrestling.
Alicia and Sasha don't like each other, and because they are friends, respectively, with Noam Dar and Rich Swann, then...
Doesn't Alicia think that Sasha was, hitting on Noam Dar or something?
Oh, probably.
I think...
Yeah.
I think that's it, but again, we don't watch 205 Live, and I don't even know if it was on Raw or not. Sorry, friends. But, I mean, the match was fine.
Yeah, I'm just glad to see Alicia Fox getting more actual ring time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best Northern Light suplex in the business. I'm not even kidding.
I know. It's such a random claim to fame.
It's so good though.
I do a really good Northern Light suplex. It's all right, sweet.
I don't remember how this match ended.
Swan hits Noam Dar with a Phoenix Splash.
Yeah.
Oh, the Phoenix Splash. That's right. Okay.
Dude, I love.
Banks gets to do the double knee takedown on Dar outside the ring.
That was pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Usually WWE is super
cagey about
about men and women interacting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because the way we've talked about it before, but the way that a mixed tag match works is you have a man on each team and a woman on each team, and if the men are in the ring and one of the men tags out for the women, the other team has to change.
Yeah.
So that it's always men v men, women v women.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But sometimes you can have they will allow women to take a couple shots at men.
Yeah, the women can hit offense on men.
Yeah.
They're real careful about doing the opposite for good reasons.
It's not like in the past wrestlers have had sordid histories of domestic abuse. So they try to they try to dance around that a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But big flashy double knee takedowns, all good.
Yeah, that's pretty. So Rich Swann and Sasha Banks win the match.
Dude, I love Rich Swann's kick. That spin kick he does.
Mm-hmm. Elias Samson is now in the.
Oh yeah, dude! I'm becoming the biggest fan of this guy because they have done this beautifully, on Raw. Because for weeks on Raw, Elias Samson, he was in NXT. I think we must have talked about him briefly.
I'll talk about him briefly when you're done.
He was in NXT and he was the Drifter, and it was kind of a whatever gimmick. We were like, okay, yeah, sure, okay. And then all of a sudden, when Cassius Ohno came back, him and Elias Samson had a loser leaves NXT match, and Cassius won. Which fits into the drifter gimmick. Because it's like, all right, go away. And then all of a sudden, you just see in random backstage interviews, Elias Samson just walking in the background with his guitar over his shoulder.
I put some clips in the last episode.
Did you?
Yeah,
They're so good.
God, yeah.
Especially when he starts playing them like backstage. He's just like some Jericho interview, and he's just in the back.
Yeah, it's just,
So he's sitting in the middle of the ring with a spotlight on him, and he's like, I was walking through there in Baltimore. I mentioned that. He was walking around Baltimore, and he was inspired to write this song. And he starts playing his guitar. His guitar playing is great.
Yeah,
he's really good at guitar. His singing voice is not as good. His singing is very flat. He's like, I'm singing a song.
Baltimore is bathed in filth.
These are the words that I sing. It's like very, very flat.
what was flatter, Elias Samson or us three singing "Oh Canada" at the
The pre-release? It was tough call.
We gave Samson a run for his money, man.
So he sings a song about how Baltimore is filthy and all the people suck and the city is depressing and it's the fault of anybody who lives there. And
Classic heel who sings.
Yeah, it's so good. I've seen him do it live twice.
Really?
It's so good.
So yeah,
He probably writes all those himself too. I hope, or maybe I don't know. I don't really give creative that much credit to writing.
This was weird to have like on a pay-per-view.
It was really random, but I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they've done it really well. Just like I just love seeing him just in a little tiny speck in the background, just like walking by.
Yeah.
It was like a drifter sighting. Got him.
Okay. You know what match is next?
I think
Settle in, everybody.
Yep.
The WWE Raw Women's Championship match.
Yes.
Alexa Bliss defends against Bayley in a kendo stick on a pole match.
There was a kendo stick on a pole.
Yes. So the lead up to this match, the match was not awful. I had some problems with it.
Yeah.
But the lead up to it was the big issue.
Woof is the only thing I can say. Just we talked about it last time.
Yeah.
It's the same storyline again. I don't want to it's just Charlotte versus Bayley.
So Charlotte Bayley,
but with a smaller version of Charlotte.
right? Smaller, meaner.
Like if you took Charlotte in half, like the dolls, Alexa would be inside.
Troshka doll?
Yeah, if you lifted Charlotte, and it's like, oh look, an Alexa.
I was saying that if you just left Charlotte in the dryer too long, Alexa.
I shrunk it again.
One of the highest rated segments on Monday Night Raw during the Monday Night Wars. So probably one of the highest rated segments of Raw of all time.
Yeah.
It got like an 8 point something.
It was crazy.
It was like ridiculous.
Like it shouldn't have happened, but
I don't know how ratings work to say like how good an 8 point whatever is, but it's a lot.
They're doing like
Three.
they're doing like
Under
three
three,
currently.
Yeah.
Was Mankind, Mick Foley Mankind, presenting The Rock, This Is Your Life.
Yeah.
And sort of, it was, there was an old TV show called This Is Your Life where it'd be like, hey, random person, this is your life. And they'd have like someone would bring their friend on and the show would have done all this research and gotten people from their past and be like, you may not remember him, but this was your 7th grade teacher. And they'd come on and like talk about what they were like as a kid. And like, it was a combination of like sort of embarrassing and good-natured ribbing, but also really heartwarming and like that was the show This Is Your Life. Mm-hmm. So then Mick Foley, as Mankind, did The Rock, This Is Your Life, which of course was all in kayfabe, all storyline of, like this was your homeroom teacher or whatever. And she was like, oh, he was always making pie. The Rock loves pie. Like that, it was all like very, like humorous and stuff. Yeah. But it was, because this was during the Rock and Sock connection.
Yeah.
Right, where one of the greatest storylines ever.
Where Rock and Mankind were a tag team and everything and like that. So, so in the lead up to this, Alexa did Bayley, This Is Your Life. And it was bad. It was really bad.
It was just really bad.
It was
and not even like the good shitty kind of bad that I love.
Yeah.
Just
and like you could tell that Alexa knew that it was bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like she was not in a way that scuppered it, but you could tell by what she was saying and doing that she was like, this is not
invested. Like,
which
hurts the segment as a whole, right?
It does, but I think it was more hurt by, like, I think she was trying to save what she could by sort of winking that, like, this is not great. Because they had in the ring, there was 3 people
Yeah.
and Alexa and this table of stuff with like pictures of Bayley when she was younger, but then like a slinky,
Right.
like a tea set, like baby toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's a baby.
And but it's like, here's toys she played with when she was a baby.
What a nerd.
Toys.
Babies, am I right?
the hell?
And so they had like one of her teachers.
My opponent used to be a baby.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the segment, Graham's explanation right now was about 3 times as entertaining as the segment. Like, that was good.
They had a teacher called, what was her grade school teacher? Like Mrs. Flaps?
Yeah.
Or Flappers or something?
Something like that.
And Alexa was like, really? That's your name? Okay, Flaps. Sure. And like her story about Bayley was that she was a wonderful student, but that she got nervous and so like had to have her dad around sometimes.
Right. I mean, I guess that what they were going for was to set up as, Bayley isn't ready for.
Yeah, but
Certainly,
She's
the
mentally
same story.
She's mentally a child.
Yeah,
it's
she's-
just- she needs
Like,
help.
basically-
Mature.
Basically,
It was rough.
the only things in this that we're not just restating the same the same stuff as before, we're not interesting pieces of information, right? So talked to like one of her former best friends, and it was like, we used to be really good friends, except whenever I wanted to hang out, she just wanted to stay in and watch Raw and SmackDown. And then like the guy was supposed to be a former boyfriend, and then her former boyfriend and former best friend started making out.
Out.
I wish
This
we
is
were
like,
making this up.
Oh,
right
sick
now.
dunk on Bayley.
Yeah.
And the honestly, the worst part about the whole thing is then Bayley had to come out and pretend to actually be hurt by this.
Right.
As opposed to what any normal person would be, which is like,
Yeah.
Alexa, what are you doing?
You got me.
You got me.
I'll see you later.
I used to be a baby, and these people that I don't care about
Who are not my
are
life
making
anymore.
out now. Oh, you sick burn on me, I guess.
Yeah.
These adults I have no current connection to
Yeah.
are doing things. Damn.
Yep.
What next?
And yeah, and I mean, even like Alexa's delivery was not as great as it could have been when she's like, "Here, see this doll? This is a doll that Bayley used to play with when she was a little girl. Actually, I think she still plays with it. Next thing," and it's like,
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like when Charlotte...
it was just a bad segment.
Yeah.
And this is weird because in the moment, Bayley comes out at the end and tries to attack Alexa, and they fight back and forth, and Alexa ends up getting the other hand. But
She had a cane underneath a kendo stick underneath the
Bayley pretends
table.
that she's actually like hurt by this. But
Right.
earlier in the night at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, there's a backstage interview where she like makes fun of the segment. She's like, Alexa tried to do this terrible "Is This Your Life" segment because everyone shit all over the segment, and so they were like, we should have Bayley shit all over the segment. It's like, yes, you should have done that at the time because it was stupid. It was terrible. You should have had Bayley come out and be like, this was lame, Alexa. This was really terrible and bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that buries like Alexa's character though, even if they planned it that way? Like, you know what I mean? Like for another wrestler to come out, even if it is stupid, in the
No, I think that would have worked because it would have been like, wow, Alexa, this is really petty and lame of you.
Yeah.
Because at the time they played it off like it was effective.
Yeah.
Which is mind-boggling.
Right. I mean, not that like they would ever do this, but I mean, Alexa could have ad-libbed her way into a better segment had Bayley just no-sold it and just
Yeah.
been like, "Look, I don't know what you're doing. This is dumb.
Yeah.
Everyone's laughing at you. What's
You know
going
what?
on?"
If I ever become a wrestler, it's not too late, right?
No.
I'm 33.
Yeah.
I don't know why I looked at my watch that I don't have on.
That's how old you are?
What I'm going to do
According
is
to
be
my
like,
wrist.
This is my opponent. You know what? He sucks real bad. And to prove my point, let's go to the YouTube comments. And then I'm just going to show. And then I'm just going to show a
Your
screenshot of
character.
the Raw clip of him in his match last week.
Your character is just going to be that you read the comments.
Yeah. Read
Wow.
Twitter. And be like,
just.
oh, here's a good one. I mean, it's just mean tweets, right? But
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
I'll be the biggest heel in the business. Actually, I'd probably end up being the biggest baby face in the business with the way wrestling is today.
Was the the kendo stick that Alexa had there, had this match already been made?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So they are this match.
Because also in the build-up was Bailey can't get extreme.
Will Bailey get extreme?
Because she's a child and she used to be a baby.
Children can't get
And
extreme.
babies can't get extreme.
Bailey is a child.
Bailey
Ergo.
Bailey rhymes with baby.
But that was the whole.
Therefore,
Just a few letters away.
That was the whole build-up, like from the from Alexa. Alexa was like, "You are going to be incapable of beating me because you won't allow yourself to get extreme."
yeah.
Air quotes, get extreme. And the
right.
commentators were like, "Will Bailey get extreme?" And it's like, did y'all see the Iron Man match
Yeah.
she had with Sasha?
Yeah.
Like, did you see the match in NXT where she didn't tap out and just passed out in a chokehold from like?
Yeah.
Bailey's not soft.
Yeah. This is just a female John Cena story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what they're trying to, like what they did with, like, remember when John Cena and Bray Wyatt fought?
Yeah, or Kane.
Yeah, and
or the
it's just like,
Nexus.
you
and it's
will
like,
never-
will John Cena turn? But it's like, but that was like, well, no, because he's a goody-goody and he's,
Yeah.
right? But Bailey's character has done plenty of extreme stuff before.
Yeah.
Will Bailey get extreme? Yeah, why not? She has.
Yeah.
But this is WWE. Get extreme equals use weapons
Yeah.
for the purposes of this pay-per-view,
Yeah.
right?
That's the only time you get extreme is when you swing a weapon.
Yeah.
Right. This isn't just regular
Everything
violence.
else, like, yeah, throwing someone into a set of stairs isn't extreme.
Like
Yeah.
belly to Bailey on the floor, no problem.
Yeah.
Swinging a kendo stick, I don't know. That's hard.
Dude, I don't understand. Spoiler alert, this match felt like it was 2 minutes long.
Yeah,
It was real quick.
But it was probably ran like 6 minutes.
Right.
It was not much of a match. And
5 minutes 10. This was shorter than the Cruiserweight tag team match.
yeah.
which is unreal. But I mean, the build-up wasn't that great, and maybe they just, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not backstage, and I don't know what they're trying to get at. I can only watch something and just be like, why?
Right. And
You
this
know?
wasn't like, this kind of ended the feud, right? Isn't they're moving
think
on
it's
to
over,
a Nia
yeah.
Jax
Well, are Nia Jax and
Bailey.
and oh yeah, but Nia Jax and Alexa are like best friends now. They're
Right.
like, that's
Right.
their thing now. Is like Nia Jax was like, I'll watch your back if you watch mine, kind of thing.
I mean, Nia Jax was like, I'll basically protect you until I can take the title from you.
Yeah. And Alexa's like,
Alexa's
sure.
like, sure, trying to manipulate the
I
situation.
guess apparently
but-
they're really good friends, like in real life. Like they travel together and stuff like that. So
Alexa and Nia Jax? Yeah.
So they paired them together.
So, this match, though, the kendo stick on a pole match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The known as the Russo special, the something on a pole.
On a pole.
Right.
So, the,
Sorry, I have to mention it.
Okay.
Did you see the thing Vince Russo did?
got a restraining order on Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
Really?
Apparently.
Yeah.
Sure. I didn't see
Sorry,
that.
Jim
but that's
Cornette
funny.
is like a very he was very involved in the Mid-South, old territory wrestling days,
Yeah.
and he was also he's a very good manager.
Yeah. And a very outspoken,
Very
loud
outspoken.
man.
Yeah,
Right.
he's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
But there was a time where Jim Cornette would, if he had an opinion on
It
something,
was a
he would
salty
let-
old bat.
He would let everyone know, and he
Yeah.
thinks that wrestling is dying.
Yeah. Well,
It's
now he's
the
got a
worst.
podcast.
And
so he's-
conversely, Vince Russo thinks that he is God's gift to wrestling
Yeah.
and is possibly insane.
Yeah.
And so they're having a fight.
Yeah, and then Vince Russo just got it. I mean,
They deserve
They probably
each
haven't
other.
talked to each other for like 10 years.
They
or
probably
something.
deserve
Right,
each other at this point.
I just thought it was really funny. For the
Yeah.
people that are into wrestling more deeper than this show,
Yeah.
we all found it really funny.
Yeah.
Just-
I didn't hear about the restraining order.
yeah,
Yeah. That's funny.
Apparently Cornette is making copies of them and he's selling them. Like he's signing copies of the
autographed
restraining-
copies
and then
of
giving like
restraining
half of the proceeds to a charity,
Well, that's
which
nice
is
of
super
him.
sweet. But yeah, it cracked me up.
So how does a blank on a pole match work?
So they get a pole.
Yeah.
And they put it in one of the corners
Yeah.
of the ring. And then they hang said item
Yeah.
on the pole. And then the first person to get up and grab the item off the pole can use it.
Yeah.
Unless it's like the item is the win condition.
Yeah.
Like if they have... There was a Viagra on a pole match in WCW. So if it's a item that isn't really a weapon, then it's the win condition.
It creates a weapon.
That's
It creates, you could argue it creates a kendo stick.
But it takes a while.
isn't TNA's answer to Money in the Bank the Feast or Fired match. Isn't that a contract on a pole match?
Yeah. So yeah, Feast or Fired. Have you seen one?
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah, they're real bad.
Yeah.
It's usually they roll out that gimmick when someone's leaving the promotion.
The Feast or Fired is like if you get the contract on a pole, then you basically you have TNA's version of Money in the Bank, and if you lose the match, you fire.
Oh, it's just one-on-one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think there have been multiple people.
So does everyone get fired?
No, well, Feast or Fired, instead of one briefcase, there are 4.
Oh yeah.
What
And
the fuck?
That's it. Right, one on each.
There's one on each
been a while.
corner.
And
in 3 of them are title opportunities. So there's like a tag title shot, X Division shot, World Heavyweight shot. And the 4th one is a pink slip.
Okay, that's kind of awesome.
There'll be, like 6 to 8 wrestlers in the match. And it's like, once you grab a briefcase, that's your briefcase, you leave the match. You don't win or lose, that's your briefcase.
Yeah.
And then later on, sometimes
reveal
that
it?
night, sometimes the next week, there's the big reveal. So the 4 people who got the briefcases will be sitting down and they'll do the dramatic opening one, and whoever's last inevitably gets fired.
Yeah.
And then it's a big emotional thing. I got fired. And sometimes they don't even actually get fired. Like a recent one, I don't want to segue too much into TNA, but like a wrestler got fired, Grado, who didn't actually leave, just put on a mask and came back as obviously himself.
Nice.
So
Wrestling.
go wrestling.
Speaking of wrestling,
Yeah.
here's how this goes. They spend the first minute or so being like, "Oh, will Bailey go for it? Will Bailey get extreme? Will Bailey get extreme?" And so then they climb the ropes, and Bailey grabs the stick. And it's like, "Oh, Bailey got the kendo stick. Now Bailey gets to use the kendo stick." Except then Alexa grabs the stick and starts beating the crap out of Bailey with it.
Yeah.
So this actually made me so mad. I gave the WWE money.
You got the
Oh my God!
So I got the WWE Book of Rules.
Yeah.
This, I cannot recommend this book.
Have
this
you
book
looked at it yet?
Yes, incomprehensible. Have you seen this book?
No.
Look for those watching. Look at the interior of this thing.
It's a kid drawing. It's a fucking...
Did Bailey draw in this thing?
It
What
is a
happened?
bunch of notes for there's an amount of real content and then a bunch of jokes. For British TV series they would do like the Mr. Bean companion, and it'd be a bunch of in-universe stuff, or the Monty Python book. Yeah, actually, the Monty Python book be okay, right? And so it's rules are made to be broken. It's it's just a bunch of stuff, and then occasionally there's things in little courier font that
actual
explains the
typed out
matches.
things.
Yeah, and so this is the section on stipulation matches, and I cannot find blank on a pole match, steel cage match. Oh yeah, here we go. Winning by pinfall, submission, or escaping the cage with both feet touching the floor on the other side. If in tag team cage matches, tornado rules apply. But it doesn't explain
what happens.
The door. It doesn't explain the whole door thing, which was the whole thing that we were talking about a couple
Does it even tell you what tornado rules are? I mean, I know what they are. You know what they are.
it might be elsewhere in the book.
Yeah,
I would assume that if you're buying this book, you know what a tornado is.
I mean, I assume if you buy this book, you kind of know everything in there, but...
But there's no index. There's no...
A glossary of terms?
No.
This is the most...
This is awful. How much did this cost you? Do I want to know?
This was $10.
Okay.
And I got it was on Prime, so it was free shipping, thank God. But this was...
Oh, it's an elimination chamber.
Elimination chamber, tables match, chairs match, ladder match, and then TLC. It's all of them. Money in the Bank.
Hilariously awful.
Items accepted for use in a no-holds-barred match.
Can I just say, as a major wrestling fan, and as someone who... I used to work on the rules of a card game. That used to be my job, is to manage the Magic rules. I thought this book would just be right in my wheelhouse.
I thought this would be... I was actually looking forward to this book, and the interior of it is... I cannot recommend this book.
Right.
It's awful.
Every signature weapon needs a good name.
Sure.
That's
Apparently,
true.
Triple H's sledgehammer is called the Equalizer.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So this is interesting. Substances or elements acceptable for use in Extreme Rules match include, but are not limited to, salt or other seasonings, kabuki powder, mysterious green mist, saliva, or fire, * when set to an object. So last man standing match, I quit match, casket match, inferno rules, boiler room match. And then we're on to a section of superstar conduct. It doesn't actually list something on a pole match. So yeah, really glad I bought this.
Wow.
Who wrote the forward?
Well, they got extreme.
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan wrote the forward?
Yeah. Yeah.
SmackDown commission.
So yeah, there's rules of the ring, what to wear, entrances and exits, stipulation matches, and superstar conduct. And the stipulation matches doesn't have
some stipulation matches.
doesn't list things in a.
Right. But blank on a pole matches have been around for a long time.
Oh yeah, the last page is a copy of a 1040 IRS form that just says has pay your taxes signed Erwin R. Shyster scribbled all over it. So like
Erwin R. Shyster. Actually, Erwin R. Shyster is Bray Wyatt's father.
Yeah, and Bo Dallas.
And
Bo
Bo Dallas, yeah.
But it's like it's a bunch of like cute wrestling references in it, I guess. But it's not what I wanted.
It's certainly not a rule book.
No.
No.
So
It's not even rulebook adjacent.
Thanks, WWE.
anyway, the fact that Bayley got the kendo stick and Alexa Bliss was the first person to use it was dumb. Because that was the whole point, right? Bayley grabbed it, pulled it down, dropped it, and then Alexa just grabbed it, beat the shit out of Bayley with a kendo stick, hit her with a DDT, and won the match.
Yeah, that was
the match.
That's the clip notes on that match. Yeah, it was not. I did not like it. I was like, I don't understand. Like, why? Like, it didn't do anything for either woman. Like, it was just like.
It was a weird write-off. Like, the kendo stick got involved. It felt like 15 seconds into the match. And usually in these things, there's like there's some build-up, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's on the pole. Who's going to get it? You know, there's all these kind of false, like, oh, so-and-so's going to grab it. No, they're stopped at the last minute. It's kind of this cage match element to it. And there was none of that. It was just, the thing fell down.
And there was no tension in the match either, because it's like Alexa starts hitting Bayley with it.
Yeah.
Like, hits her with it, hits her with it, hits her with it. Bayley starts to stagger back to her feet, and Alexa hits her with a DDT and pins her.
Yeah. Right.
There was no, like...
There was no build-up. There was no drama. There was no false finishes. It was just...
This might be one of the cases, too, where, like, maybe they did have a match planned out, and then all of a sudden, WWE or whoever was like, you have 6 minutes. And they're just like, fuck.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, like, all right, I guess, like...
But this was the third match on the
card.
card.
It seemed early in the card for them to, freak out about time, but who knows?
I mean, the
main event goes long.
The Rich Swan dance does take a while.
The Miz and Dean Ambrose was a 20-minute match.
Really?
Yeah. And then it was 6.5 minutes for the mixed tag, 5 minutes for this.
Wow.
And then the other matches are 15, 17 and a half, and almost half an hour.
Yeah.
But
yeah. It was
That
there.
sums that one up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Next match was fun.
Yeah.
Speaking actually of tag team steel cage matches,
Yep.
I had forgotten that was literally the next match we'd be talking about, is the Hardy Boys, the champions, defending against Cesaro and Sheamus in a steel cage tag team match.
Yes.
With when we've just discovered Tornado tag team rules apply.
Yeah.
Tornado tag team rules is everyone fights at once.
That's it.
Right. There's no
tag. You can't. There's no outside for them to be.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's no bell to
Wedged
ring.
up against in between the cage and the ropes, like just standing there waiting.
This match was fun.
Dude,
this
match
was fun.
great.
I'm a huge Cesaro Sheamus fan. They're doing really good work.
Dude, they're so great as a tag team. Like,
Yeah.
And you gotta love the Hardy Boys.
Oh yeah.
My only
Obviously.
nitpick of this match was I got really confused when Jeff left the cage, and then Matt was left by himself, but then Jeff just came back in.
Well,
because
because the commentators were talking about that, right? It's like one of them could leave, but then they're leaving their partner to the mercies of whoever's still in there.
which
So it's like, I guess Jeff thought that Matt was on his way out as well.
Yeah.
And then got out and was like, oh.
Right.
But I don't know.
But then he just went back in, right?
Yeah.
Like, I understand, because I thought it was going to be Jeff leaves early, or gets out, and Matt gets held up, and then Cesaro and Sheamus kick the tar out of Matt Hardy, and that is our bridge to broken Matt Hardy.
Oh, that could be. So when Jeff left,
we still don't know if they're going to pull the trigger.
We don't know either. Yeah, we have no idea.
We hope, but
I don't think we should.
I mean, at this point, it's.
You figured that was going to be like Jeff abandoning Matt kind of thing?
No, actually, well,
or Matt would view it as Jeff abandoning him.
Yeah, I mean that was a possibility, but like when Jeff left, if I'm remembering correctly, Matt was actually in control. Like I think he just hit 2 side effects.
Yeah,
and it looked like he was about to like make a run for the door or climb the cage because he's quick as a cat or whatever they said. And but Jeff's just kind of hanging out, and then he got brogue kicked or something. No, he got
Something. I actually really liked the beginning of the match too, where Cesaro and Sheamus just like tried to just get out right away.
The bell rings and they're gone.
I'm gone. Yeah, I was like, holy shit. Yeah.
It was, if you were at all confused as to the rules of this match, Michael Cole helpfully stepped in every 22 seconds and reminded you that both members of the team had to hit both feet on the floor at the same time.
Yeah, which was relevant because Jeff did leave.
Right.
And got outside. And Matt later left as well, but Jeff was at that point back in the match. So that's
the
why.
part I didn't like about this match was it was really confusing about.
So yeah, basically, so they were both, the Hardys were both on their way out. Sheamus and Cesaro stop Matt, drag him back down. They hit him with a double team crucifix powerbomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Jeff tries to get back in. Does end up slamming the door on Sheamus's head.
Yeah.
Which looked really painful. They should just lose the door. It's so stupid.
Really
You don't like the door?
No.
Well, it's because we don't understand the rules.
Right. When does the door open?
Yeah. Which this book still did not help.
That's disappointing.
I recall them at one point years ago saying that you're allowed, each competitor, in the case of like a one-on-one match, is allowed to ask for the door to be opened once.
Yeah, I don't remember the once part, but I do remember there was a referee.
Yeah.
That there was a lock, and they kept it locked. So they unlock it each time, and you had to be signal the ref, and then they'd open the door, and then it'd be the drama.
Why even have climbing over the top of the cage a stipulation when you could just ask them to open the door? It's a lot faster. From a logical standpoint. It's why do I have to climb up when
That's why I think they should get rid of the door.
Yeah, It's can you open the door, please?
Well, you can
put them in the ring, lower the cage, no door. The only way to get out is to jump over.
Yeah. You can better sell I have to go slower so my opponent has time to catch me move by climbing over than you can going out the door.
Yeah.
It's I'm going, where is he? I'll slow down.
They did this too, the same cage match finish that we've seen a billion times. It's the race to one person's going, I can't remember who was going out the door, and some people were climbing over top. And then they have the last lunge, and Cesaro and Sheamus win this match.
Right.
They also hit Matt with a double team white noise.
Oh yeah,
from the top rope.
Yeah, which Matt
got beaten badly.
Yeah.
But Jeff actually was the one who because Jeff went to get back in and hit Sheamus and Cesaro with a whisper in the wind from the top of the cage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because he's Jeff Hardy, and that's sort of how he goes. So that what ends up happening after that is that Jeff is effed from doing that move.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so Matt is trying to drag Jeff out via the door, and Sheamus and Cesaro come to enough to start climbing over the cage, and it's sort of like a down to the wire thing where Matt is actually outside and just can't quite get Jeff out the door, and Sheamus and Cesaro are lowering themselves down, and then it's oh, what's it going to be? And then it's Sheamus and Cesaro land, and then Matt pulls Jeff out, and the bell rings, and Matt thinks that they won, and then it turns out that Sheamus and Cesaro beat them by a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Matt's all upset about it, and Jeff is still... Jeff's still dazed from hitting his crazy move off the top of the cage.
Yeah.
Which is it's weird that he's more out of it from hitting his move off the top of the cage than Sheamus and Cesaro are from being hit by his move from the top of the cage. That should be a modifier, right?
But
that's the
wrestling.
So yeah, Sheamus and Cesaro win. It was actually
move done off the top of the cage. I think it's just 30%.
Oh, okay.
It's not crazy, right?
It was good though. This was a good match. I'm glad, or at least the last half was a good match, and then Sheamus and Cesaro won, which was great.
Yeah.
So
like them both.
New tag champs.
Yeah.
Well deserved. Mm-hmm. I was expecting once Jeff left, I was kind of expecting either Sheamus or Cesaro to also leave.
And fight him outside.
And then we'd have 2 fights going on, one inside, one outside, and then that could break down.
That would've been cool, too.
Yeah, that didn't.
More tag cage matches. There's a lot of creative space there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said this was the 4th tag team title match in there was a lot of stipulations in pay-per-view history.
In a cage?
And, yeah, in a cage. Huh. And the Hardys have been in now 3 of them. So one was Edge and Christian, and one was the Dudleys.
Huh. Ooh, Dudleys.
Back in that era.
That sounds like a bloody match.
Yeah.
In that era, yeah. The next match was the Cruiserweight Championship match.
Yep.
Neville defending still against Austin Aries.
King
Neville, pardon me. The king of the Cruiserweights defending against Austin Aries again. in my least favorite Extreme Rules match because it's the least. It makes it. It's a submission match, which makes it less extreme than a normal match.
That's true. And also, did you notice why did the referee was doing the 10 count anytime they were outside the ring?
Yeah, a submission match you can only win with a submission.
Which was surprisingly not the least stupid part of the officiating in this match. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. So
I mean, the match was fine.
yeah,
I liked it a lot.
Match was,
but-
I
good.
actually don't mind submission matches. They're a lot more, like you said, I guess like technical.
Yeah.
Like they're a lot more sort of like
They're grindier.
yeah. Because this was like a 17-minute match or something. But it's not. This is not a match for the Extreme Rules card.
No.
Right? Like submission matches, it does make it less extreme than a regular, like a regulation match because you're just trying to get them to submit, which involves sitting still for several seconds.
Yeah.
In many ways, this card was a really entertaining episode of Raw.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of what I was thinking.
I think I agree with Adam that it was like yes, and then saved by the main event.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like it was just like the main event was so good. And even the build up to the main event, like the build up for the main event was awesome. But I mean, like this build up was just like, again, Austin Aries just always kind of coming up short. Also, the TJP thing, which we talked about, was still active. Yeah. This is like an ongoing thread.
Yeah, there was a match on Raw leading up to this, which was Neville and TJP versus Austin Aries and Jack Gallagher.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Yeah.
Because I like Jack Gallagher.
Oh, yeah.
Cruiserweights
Those
that don't get
great.
any weird, right? It's just been Neville and Austin Aries right now, and like there's that whole roster is like so good. But it's just, I mean, we've done this to death. Like,
Yeah.
It's just like there should be more.
Apparently the matches on 205 Live are good, even if the stories aren't.
The matches are really good. I did like in the build up to this match that because they don't always do this when the submission matches come around, is that Neville didn't really have a legitimate submission finisher, and early on they started building the Rings of Saturn as.
Well, I mean, like I know, didn't he make Austin Aries tap out at some point?
He's had the Rings of Saturn
For a
before,
while.
Yeah,
but it was
they-
never his like big finisher.
Right, they really strengthened it over the last month,
Yeah.
which was nice.
And Austin Aries always had like the last chancery.
Yeah.
The only thing that stuck out for me with this match was when Austin Aries made Neville tap out outside.
And now we're at the dumbest part of the officiating of this match.
Yeah, because he was counting out, right? He was counting them out. The ref was counting them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only was he counting them out, so the submission match could end on a count out,
Right.
apparently. But actually giving up, you have to give up in the ring.
Yeah.
Which, have I just missed that? I've never heard of that.
In a submission match?
Yeah, that being
Again,
a point.
I mean, we checked
You have
the
to give
rule
up
book.
in the ring? You can't give up
Yeah, you
anywhere
can't
else?
give up outside.
Like if you just tap out, it doesn't matter.
Well, because rope breaks are still a thing in a submission match, right?
Yeah.
So I would
Sure.
assume that being outside the ring, since you can't pin somebody or submit them on the outside.
Right. I would have assumed, I kind of assumed that
Can't believe
a
you're
submission
looking at a
match.
fucking book. There's not going to be anything in there.
Doesn't a submission match somewhat imply no DQ? Because the whole thing is it has to end by submission.
Yeah. See, there's the problem.
So,
Like, can you use a weapon in a submission only match? Like,
nothing about that part really made sense. But the work was really good.
Yeah,
I
dude, they were
definitely those two were great. The finishing move was awesome.
yeah.
I popped for the red arrow into the rings.
rings, yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, it was great.
Really fun to watch.
All it says is no pinfalls, no countouts. It does say no countouts.
Okay, well, look, WWE, if you're going to write a book.
The match ends when a superstar makes their opponent tap out or verbally submit. But it doesn't mention anything about the ring because this book is
All right,
Terrible.
Kurt Angle, Mr. Integrity, there's a rule book. He's holding it. What's going on?
What did you find?
one of the in character. So there's like scribbles on Post-it notes and bits of paper on the back. So really, as an A-list Hollywood celebrity, I'm used to having my private life exposed to the public against my wishes, but this crosses the line. Signed the Miz, right? On a pink Post-it note. It's not a bad rule book. It's not a good rule book.
Oh my god.
It's just
It's the rule book.
Oh my god. No! You suckered me so hard with that because I didn't know. After the first sentence, I didn't know where you were going.
Pink Post-it note is what sells that.
I feel sick to my stomach.
Look, signed RR.
RR. Ricardo Rodriguez.
Randy Rorton.
Randall Reith Wharton.
Randall Reith Rorton.
Oh, Randy.
All right. Yeah.
So yeah, Neville hits a red arrow and follows up with the Rings of Saturn and retains his title.
It was a smooth combo.
Austin Aries looks really dejected after he lost. I don't know where they went after this as far as the Cruiserweight title goes, but I'm hoping. I don't know. I don't see them. Are they going to do like a fourth? Because they've already had 3 matches, like WrestleMania, Payback.
And didn't they have one before Mania?
Yeah, and they had one before Mania too.
What was the pay-per-view before Mania?
Fastlane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Fastlane.
They've already had 4 matches, 4
Yeah.
pay-per-view matches.
Isn't and I'll admit I haven't watched it since. I haven't really been following the Cruiserweights since that pay-per-view. But isn't it TJP's turn now? Isn't the story that Aries was like kind of teaming up with him and protecting him with the promise of a title shot?
But I think that'll keep going
Or
for a
Neville.
while.
Or Neville, sorry.
Yeah,
and then so now TJP's like sick of it and wants his shot and
I don't know.
coming at the King, something like that. That'd be a logical place to go. So.
And you come at the King, you best not miss.
Best not miss. So Neville's great. All hail the King.
All right.
Fatal 5-way.
Fatal
Fatal
five-way.
5-way. Your main event of the night, a Fatal 5-way. The winner will face Brock Lesnar for the WWE Universal title. As a reminder, Brock Lesnar is still the WWE champion.
Did we even see him? He didn't show up at all.
Not
during the build-up.
not until
Not
after
to this event, yeah.
Not until afterwards. The competitors are Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, and Roman Reigns.
Yep.
And they will have a match at WWE Great Balls of Fire, for which there is a match graphic that pops up during this pay-per-view that looks like a dick and balls. They've since altered it to look less like a dick and balls.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the name any better.
No.
I want to know, like, I know the wrestling community as a whole lost their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this is a joke, right?
Yeah, and we were like, no, it's not a joke. I want to know what the thought process was. That's what I'm more interested in. I know the name's dumb,
Yeah.
but I want to know how it got greenlit. Like, what is the chain of command and where, like, what happens to go from we don't have a name to Great Balls of Fire?
I also want to know how the dick and balls got through, so to speak.
Because you've had, no spoilers yet. You've had the people involved in the match at Great Balls of Fire like we said, cutting promos and saying, at Great Balls of Fire, this is going to happen. And it's like, you're selling this so hard. And I'm almost believing you, but I can't get past the actual words you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
The one that really got me, and you reminded me of it because you sounded a little bit like it, was Braun Strowman trying to say the name of this pay-per-view. Was at the Great Balls of Fire
Angle,
pay-per-view.
Foley, give me a fight.
Give me a competition.
Right.
I'm assuming the plan originally was that Braun was going to be in this match and probably win it. But
I think Braun was definitely supposed to be in this match.
Yeah.
But yeah, Braun was out with a minor injury, but an injury that forced him to not compete. He was out for like a month, I guess.
Yeah, he was out for like 6 weeks.
Some number of weeks. Okay.
He was
He's
supposed to
back
be
now.
out for a lot longer than he actually was. He came back early, according to what they're reporting. Who knows what the real story was? But
I haven't actually seen the episode where he returns, but I believe he comes out of an
yes,
ambulance.
he does. It's glorious.
Pretty rad.
His signature set piece now.
He's just. At what point does Braun become the ambulance? I can't wait. I'm waiting for the time, when it's just like Roman gets loaded into an ambulance and it's actually just Braun dressed as an ambulance.
Yeah.
And he just like gets up. He's like, Roman's inside.
Well, they have an
I
ambulance
I assume that this was meant to be a six-pack challenge then.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning of this match, it looked like, I get it, but it looked so stupid. Like, there's the 5 of them in the ring, the bell rings, Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins start. start fighting.
As you
They've-
expect.
Because
Before
they've been feuding.
before we get to the start of the match, though,
yeah.
on the build-up, love the build-up because it made everyone look like a threat. They didn't really talk down anyone. They're like, yeah, he could beat Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Even like, and there was a great fucking promo by Paul Heyman
Oh yeah.
talking about how sick Finn Balor was.
Yeah.
And I was like, Finn is winning this match. Like, he has to. I wanted to see Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And Heyman got in the ring and was just like, I know that you're not scared of Brock, and Brock knows you're not scared of him.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not something they've really said before,
Yeah.
like on TV. So I was like, oh, okay, so Finn's winning this match. Sweet. I don't know. The build up, that part was my favorite. But I mean, like, Paul Heyman could sell a broomstick to, like, anyone, right? Like, it just doesn't matter. It's just
Right.
like Paul Heyman can sell anything. Apparently, there's a promo that he does on Great Balls of Fire that makes it legitimate. I haven't watched it yet.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, because
I'm missing that in my
He
life.
makes it sound
if
serious.
someone could, it would be
It's
Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
God bless the man. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was mostly multi-man matches with these competitors going into it, but sort of people who were already kind of having feuds. So the bell rings. Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins start fighting. Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt start fighting, and then Roman Reigns just stands there in the ring like a big dumb idiot, just watching the other folks fight, just
Right.
like.
What a piece of shit. Yeah.
And Corey Graves,
guess I'll just stand here.
Corey Graves, bless his heart, I love Corey Graves, is just putting over Roman huge for this.
Yeah.
What a smart
So
move.
smart. Let them
Stand-
fight.
let them expend energy. Let them
And
wear
that's
themselves
true.
out.
This is why Corey Graves is a fucking genius.
Yeah, Corey's
because
awesome.
he can take anything that happens in the ring and be like, now here's the strategy for why.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Him and William Regal.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Or like explain to me the kayfabe reason for X, and he'll be like, okay, here's what's up. And you're like,
Oh,
you're like,
sure.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. And then 10 minutes later, you're like, wait a minute. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's like, okay, sure, I buy that. So I don't know if this was like intentionally like to make it obvious that like, yeah, Braun was supposed to be in this match.
Yeah.
He should have been fighting Braun right now. But it made Roman look a little stupid for a couple minutes. But
Just kind of standing there.
I thought it made him look like just a smug asshole. I was just like, it worked well into his character. He was just like,
well,
all right,
if the
you guys
character
wanna
that they're
fight-
trying to sell is smug asshole.
I think they are.
Well,
But I mean, like, parts of it they are. I mean, you could argue either way, but.
So how'd this all go?
God, I can't remember. Roman gets put out of this match for a very long time, and I can't remember how it happens. Doesn't he get put through one of the announce tables?
Yeah. So this was a pretty long match, right? This
was like 30 minutes.
North
This
of a
was-
half hour, yeah.
I mean,
It was
the main
just under half.
oh, was it? Okay.
the main storyline thread was Samoa Joe and Bray Wyatt team up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Joe and Wyatt have this sort of uneasy alliance.
Yeah.
And they're working
They're
over...
the bad guys.
Right, they're the bad guys. They work over Finn for a while. This is after Roman gets taken out.
Yeah, Roman gets
Like
taken out.
everyone, like as you'd expect in these kind of matches, like everyone kind of takes a powder and is just hanging out on the outside for 5-10 minutes while everyone. Then there's the big comeback. So
They like hit everybody with the steps at one point.
yeah, like Seth and Roman get laid out, and Joe and Bray are working over Finn. They do the kind of the dueling back sentons onto the chair.
Yeah. They're doing this thing too where like they go to pin the person when the other guy's back is turned.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Like, hey, I thought we were doing a thing. Oh, I was just,
No, it wasn't me.
it was there. I figured. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what else. Right. Yeah. Wyatt gives Reigns Uranagi on the commentary table.
That's what it was.
And
Yeah.
the crowd chants for one more.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime anyone touched Roman, the crowd popped for it. It
Yeah.
was, like, yes.
Yes, get him. I'm
So-
surprised we didn't hear a Roman sleeping chant. That was one of the best chants of all time. I think that was Royal Rumble last year.
The uneasy alliance, I think, breaks when Wyatt shoves Joe into a suicide dive from Rollins.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then Rollins and Wyatt are fighting back, and Rollins springboards into a Sister Abigail.
Yeah.
So it gives,
Yeah, it was a good spot.
gives Wyatt the old flying nothing into a Sister Abigail.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
But then Joe breaks up the pin. So now they're pissed off at one another, Wyatt and Joe.
Right. Joe does great.
Joe's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude,
really good facial expression, just like yelling at Bray. I remember he's like, what was that? You know,
Yeah.
about the suicide dive and
Yeah.
just angry Joe.
God, he's the best.
So what
Yeah.
what interested me, because you were talking about how they in the lead up they made everyone like look strong.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 weeks prior they had a tag team match with Joe and Wyatt versus Reigns and Rollins.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Yeah.
And Joe and Wyatt won with Joe getting the pin. And so then the next week, Reigns and Rollins had a solo match. Because then it went to backstage and Finn Balor was like, "Hey, I want to fight literally any one of those guys." And Angle was like, "Okay, you'll fight 2 of them." And
Right.
and Finn was like, "Okay,
All
sweet."
right, yeah. Sure.
So then the next week on Raw, it was a triple threat between Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, and Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe won. Right? So Joe got the pin in the tag team match. Joe won this triple threat, and it's like, man, they're making Joe look really, really strong. And as we've said a bunch of times before, traditionally that means that person is not going to win the big one.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's sort of how it goes.
That's how it's always been.
Make this
Yeah.
person look really strong, so then you subvert it by having some, so it's unexpected, right? So you were thinking Finn Balor would get it. I was pretty high on Finn Balor winning it.
I was like all in Finn Balor. I was just like, yeah, I'm betting Finn.
But as it turns out, I think that what they were doing is trying to make Samoa Joe look effing legitimate.
Yeah.
Because Joe wins this match.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Joe has very little problem looking legitimate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Joe's
dude's
terrifying.
obviously a badass.
Joe's gonna kill you. Yeah.
So you have a chant with "Your name is gonna kill you."
Yeah.
Like,
I was at a live event in Seattle last year, and it was actually an NXT show when Joe was in NXT.
Yeah.
And he wasn't medically cleared to compete, but he came down and cut a promo and watched the main event, and the whole crowd was chanting, "Joe is gonna watch you." And it was even that was terrifying.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, he was at Takeover San Antonio.
That's where we got Graham
I was
poking
leaning
up
out
from
the
his
thigh.
head.
Oh, it was so good. That's
Like, really obvious blue shirt.
yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
I'm helping.
And then they never cut to that angle again.
It was sad.
The very, very end of this match is everyone sort of like trading finishers back and forth. Roman goes for a spear, but this was sweet. Roman goes for a spear, but Finn Balor counters it into the sling blade.
Yeah.
So like rather than getting taken out, he like swings around Roman's neck, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Goes for the coup de grace, hits the coup de grace, but then Joe runs in and applies the coquina clutch to Balor.
Yeah.
Doesn't tap though.
Doesn't tap. The referee calls the match. Sorry.
Falls
passes out.
unconscious.
Correct. Sorry. Good point.
Yeah.
Balor doesn't have a choice but to pass out.
Which is a little
I love that.
nugget they've used in storylines before. That's something that
He's too hard.
He
He
doesn't-
refuses to tap, but he can't.
physically unable to continue.
Yeah. So the
And
referee calls
thus
the match.
tougher.
Dude, Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar.
Legitimate.
Gimme.
Yeah, I think it was a legitimate surprise to see Joe win that match, but not like a Jinder Mahal surprise, like a what?
Yeah.
It was like, oh
Was
sweet.
that going to be the term going forward? Was it a Samoa Joe surprise or a Jinder Mahal
Mahal
surprise?
surprise.
Because
I don't know about Jinder Mahal
pleasant
surprise.
surprise or like a
Oh man.
That pay-per-view was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Main event was fantastic.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so good.
Really, really good. Like everyone got in legit offense.
Yeah.
I had no idea who was going to win until it happened.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. Next, let's just move right along.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank, using the same music they've been using forever.
Money, 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 money.
Oh, yeah.
The Money in the Bank ladder match. I believe I can't remember if it was kayfabe created by Chris Jericho or if it was actually created by
I think it's actually created by Chris Jericho.
Yeah, by Chris Jericho. And so it's a ladder match. It's a multi-man ladder match, usually 5 or 6, where we did an episode about Money in the Bank last year, but as a reminder, there is a briefcase suspended above the ring with in which is a contract that the briefcase holder may cash in at any time for a title shot on the championship in question. And generally that is when the champion is has just had a match or is otherwise beaten down or something.
Yeah.
So that they get to basically like steal it. So it's usually
99% of the time, it's a guaranteed win.
yeah. I think it's
except for one fellow.
was it just Damien Sandow?
Just Damien Sandow.
Well,
Didn't Cena not do it once? I can't remember.
it was Cena RVD.
no, but RVD was the one who cashed in.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying didn't RVD
He won.
he won the contract and then said he was doing it at the second
night
one night stand.
Yeah, and then he won.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
Then
you
he got
were talking
busted
about.
he got busted having a bunch of weed. In his
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the surprise cash-ins.
Oh, yeah.
Not the wins.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first,
My fault,
yeah,
my
the
fault.
first one was, the first one RVD was like, I'm going to cash in at this time. But yeah, since then it's been more like a surprise thing.
Yeah.
And you win the match, like any ladder match, you win the match by putting up a ladder in the middle of the ring and climbing up and grabbing the briefcase.
Right.
So, this card also features the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which we were all very excited about.
Yay!
All right, and it was
A huge step forward for equality.
We'll talk about it.
Coming up.
It's a heck of a thing. So, live from the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis, Missouri, and brought to you by Gold Bond Ultimate.
yeah.
I don't know how humid it is at the Scott Trade Center, but maybe
Humid
you got to
here.
throw on
Thanks.
some Gold Bond.
Thanks, Gold
They
Bond.
were playing like commercials with Shaq during the pay-per-view.
Did they? I don't think I saw these.
Awkward.
Yeah, it was weird. Anyway, it is Money in the Bank 2017.
Surprised they show commercials with Shaq. I guess they're tied to Gold Bond, but after he bailed on WrestleMania.
Bail on Mania, yeah.
Yeah.
WWE is not the type of company that will give free publicity to people who burn them or feel like they got burned by.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Oh, well. Anyway, on the pre-show, the reunited Hype Bros, which kind of makes me sad.
Hype, bros.
Defeated.
Makes me sad because Mojo Rawley is saddled with Zack Ryder.
It makes me sad because Zack Ryder is saddled with Mojo Rawley.
Mojo's the truth.
Are we gonna,
The internet champion, Zack Ryder.
yeah, the Internet Champion Zack Ryder
Teaming
and
up with-
Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner,
Friend of the Gronk.
friend of the Gronk.
And former Green Bay Packer. I want to throw that in there.
Was he
Mojo's
really?
a Green Bay.
Because
was
I'm a big
former-
Green Bay Packers fan.
Was he actually on the
He
team?
actually was. Mojo Rawley.
Like main team? Like main, he wasn't a
For
practice
like
squad guy?
2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Practice squad guy or something. But
okay.
legit.
Oh, cool.
I
Anyway,
guess they
they,
shouldn't underplay being on the practice squad because that's still me.
Because because anyone could do that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make anyone mad. Yeah. No, I'd never. You could give me 1,000 years and I probably would never make a
Right.
practice squad in the NFL.
Apologies to all the professional athletes
Yeah,
out there.
sorry.
We respect what you do.
To all the professional athletes that watch this show.
Yeah.
and yes, defeating the Colons, now the
Oh yeah, the Colognes.
formerly the Rising
Colons.
Stars. Yeah.
Colons.
I actually didn't know that Epico was a Cologne.
Oh yeah, aren't they?
That he's actually in that family.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually know that because the Colognes used to be Primo and Carlito years ago.
Right.
Because Carlito was a wrestler.
Carlito was the Apple guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
I missed all that.
He determined whether or not people were cool, and he was always eating apples. And he would spit apple chunks in your face if he determined that you were not cool.
Was it good?
I spit
Was
in
he
the
good?
face
He
of
was
people
good.
who don't
Yeah.
want to be cool.
Yeah.
And then the music would hit.
Yeah.
He recently showed up.
Was he like popular?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was over. Carlito recently showed up in Glow.
Yeah, he's in Glow on Netflix.
Oh, really?
The Netflix
I
series.
watched the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Or 4 episodes.
He's in Glow. And
Really
John,
good.
John, is it John Morrison? John Morrison.
John Morrison's
yeah.
in
John
there.
Morrison's
John
in
Morrison,
there.
aka
Maybe
Johnny
I haven't
Mundo.
got that far
Brodus
for-
Clay is in it as well.
Yeah, I saw Brodus Clay.
And apparently Chavo was like their like wrestling like would help them with like the moves, but also just like wrestling consultant.
Yeah.
Where someone would
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, let's do this move," and he'd be like, "No, because that move was not used in professional wrestling until 1994." Like he'd be like,
Yeah.
in with like the history.
Yeah.
So that's
awesome.
That's cool.
I need to finish watching that show, but it's,
I'm really excited to watch it. But yeah, anyway, so I knew that Primo was because it used to be Primo and Carlito the Colognes.
Right.
And then Carlito left, and then Primo was doing other stuff, and then there were the Los Matadores, and then they were the Shining Stars, but now they're the Colognes again because they're actually
those nefarious shining stars trying to steal
They're
sell their
cousins.
timeshares.
yeah, they're
They
cousins.
ran out of timeshares. They're
Yeah.
back to being the Colons.
Now they have no character again.
Right.
So
Upgrade! Would you say it's an upgrade though? Like over the shining stars?
That's an
God,
upgrade.
probably yeah.
I would
yeah.
say so.
Yeah. So the in the lead up to this, on an episode of SmackDown, there was a #1 contenders match.
Yeah.
For the for Naomi's women's title with Charlotte, Tamina, Becky Lynch, Natalia, and Carmella.
Yeah.
And it didn't go well.
Oh, I did watch this.
Like it turned into a whole thing.
A brouhaha.
Right.
A kerfuffle. It fell apart. Basically, Shane came out and got in the ring, and everyone was like littered outside the ring. It just turned into like a giant mess. And he was like, okay. Look, everyone just okay.
Stop fighting.
Stop. We need to sort this out. Here's an idea. How about we for the first time ever, how about we #make history with the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match at Money in the Bank with Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Carmella, Tamina, and Natalia. And whoever wins the match will then have a contract to challenge Naomi or whoever the champion ends up being when they cash it in for the SmackDown Women's title.
And we all fist pumped.
Yeah. So that was the opening match on the main card.
Yeah.
So they play this video package.
Yep.
The video package is worth mentioning because it makes the finish to this match worse. Because the video package it's all the women in the match talking about how amazing it is and how historic it is, and #Divas Revolution, and then the Women's Revolution, and how they're not divas anymore, and how that they've constantly been doing stuff like adding cage matches and then Iron Man matches and Hell in a Cell matches and tables matches, and they've been being like, look, the women can do these things too, and then now that's the Money in the Bank match, and it's going to be this amazing thing for the women's wrestlers.
Yep.
So amazing.
So amazing. So the match is honestly fine.
It's good.
Right? It's a multi-person ladder match.
Yeah.
It's a little rough in places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of the ladder work was a little sketchy.
Yeah.
In places, but not in a way that I really cared
But
about.
again,
less
I can't
experience.
even I have a hard time criticizing it because A, matches like that seem like a nightmare to fucking put together.
Yeah.
And B, they're super dangerous.
Right.
So it's just
I was really entertained by this match.
I love watching it.
Definitely.
The match is great
all
until
five
we
of
get
them-
to the fucking ending.
Yeah, the ending was we'll talk about that, but before,
I mean,
Let's talk about it right now.
let's get there.
yeah. Let's just
get there.
Let's just
because
jump right
that's
to it.
all anybody wants to hear right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Carmella's climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch cuts her off and power bombs her off the ladder on down to the ring. Then Becky Lynch starts climbing the ladder. Everyone's really hyped for Becky Lynch to win it.
Yep.
James Ellsworth, Carmella's sniveling toady, who's dressed. What did you say he dresses like?
Oh, like the kind of guy that watches UFC at a strip club.
Thank you.
It goes to fight night.
He's wearing like all gold. And anyway, so he runs into the ring, and he pushes the ladder over, knocking Becky Lynch off into the ropes.
Yeah.
So interference from James Ellsworth. I don't mind that at all.
At that point, it was good.
I don't mind this at all.
Because also, Becky and Ellsworth have been kind of teasing a match, a fight between the two of them
Yeah.
on Twitter and just in leading up. So that little bit of interference made a lot of sense.
Yeah,
And I was on board with it.
I totally get it. Yeah, I assumed that James Ellsworth would be somehow involved with helping Carmella in this match.
He's not just down there for his good looks.
Exactly. No, he's not. So then he is trying to get Carmella back on her feet to get her to climb the ladder. He's sort of hey, you got to get up, and trying to help her stand up, and she's just completely out of it.
Yeah.
And so then,
Still good at this point.
yeah, and so then he's like, but wait, and then he looks up the ladder.
And we all go, oh no.
No.
This is interesting because the crowd is actually actually pops huge for this.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, this is going to be great. Now there is some disagreement as to whether or not the crowd was legitimately into this, or if they were into the potential of James Ellsworth being thrown off the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he climbs up the ladder, and no one seems to be challenging him. And then James Ellsworth grabs the briefcase and throws it down to Carmella. And then the bell rings, and the referees are arguing, wait, but she didn't climb it, so how does that mean that she, she has it, but she didn't actually climb it. You climbed it. You weren't a competitor. And while the referees are arguing, he just grabs a mic and is like, "Your winner, Carmella!"
Right.
And the music starts playing, and everyone's like,
What?
"Wait, what?" And so...
Are you fucking with us? Like,
Ellsworth,
Yeah.
there's a lot wrong here.
Yeah.
In some situations, I'd want to start with that goddamn rule book because
Graham and I talked, and we said, this is the perfect finish to the second women's
Right.
Money in the Bank ladder match.
That's the thing is, Carmella and Ellsworth cheating, even in this specific way, to win the match is like it's great for their character.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like from the storyline, it is actually it's actually a phenomenal storyline move.
Yeah.
Right. I don't even mind from the story perspective. And it would have been a great finish for a future ladder match. The only reason that having a man win this match bothers us and a bunch of other people is because of how they were pushing this as like it's the first ever all women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Right.
And this history, and there's all the package of the women themselves talking about how excited they are to show that they can do it too, and the winner is a man.
Right. And maybe the most galling thing about it was the women's match was really good. They certainly don't need Ellsworth or any man to help them.
No.
Like, they had a great match. The five of them put on a really good match.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unfortunate that, like, I understand what they were trying to go for.
Yeah.
And getting heat on Carmella.
Yeah.
But, again, like we said, like, it's just like the fact that Ellsworth is the one that physically pulled. Like, why not have Ellsworth push the ladder over and then just pick up Carmella or put her on his shoulders and then, like, go
then
up the ladder like that.
Have
At
Carmella...
least have Carmella pull the fucking briefcase off the stupid ladder. Like, how? How does this happen?
Like, there's good heel heats.
Yeah.
And there's like, look, you've got to look beyond the storyline and that you're really making a push for, the women's revolution and equality, and this is good. Like, fans are into this and they like it, and just to crap all over it that way.
And I want to, I got to intervene ahead of the comment of like, well, it made you mad, so obviously it was successful. And it's like, no. I said, in the storyline, perfect.
Yeah.
Right? Great. Right? Pull nuclear heat on Carmella and Ellsworth. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But like Matt just said, you can't, like, we're also looking at it from the meta perspective, and we can't ignore that they put all this build-up into talking about how it was this amazing, equalizing moment for the women's division and for the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match, and they had a man win it.
Maybe having Ellsworth win it is a basketball reference that we don't get yet.
What?
Oh man, that's
For
months.
months.
It's like my third favorite running gag.
Months, the Hard in the Paint Usos thing.
We were talking about playing.
Every fucking episode we put out.
Talking about playing Hard in the Paint, and people were like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
No,
it's a basketball thing." Actually, we're like, "No,
Yeah, we get it.
Please stop."
And now I still get people like, even when we talked about the day one-ish,
Yeah.
They want it.
they're like, oh, it's a basketball thing.
It's a basketball.
You pieces of shit, I swear to God.
So, Ellsworth.
Ellsworth, we're all, I mean, they kind of retconned it a little bit in the weeks following.
Yeah, so in the fall, so Daniel Bryan made a whole thing on Twitter where he was like real mad about it, and he's like, we're gonna set this right on SmackDown, and people were like, well, he says that on Twitter, but then he'll be like, well, I guess that's just how it falls, when he actually gets on SmackDown. But no, what actually happened is that he like gave them a dressing down, stripped Carmella of the briefcase, because apart from anything else, a non-competitor. It doesn't, like, regardless of everything else we just said, someone who wasn't in the match pulled the briefcase down and handed it to a competitor, which is...
We've never had that happen before, also.
So we assume it's not allowed, or else just anyone could be like, oh, everyone's down, I'm just going to go up the ladder and grab this and give it to,
Yeah. And like, it made a point of saying, look, there's been interference in Money in the Bank matches before, but we've never had a non-competitor
pull the briefcase off.
Yeah. So then they had they had a rematch on SmackDown. They had a women's Money in the Bank ladder match with the same competitors on SmackDown, and Carmella won.
Yeah. The same result.
In the way she should have
in the first place,
time.
yeah.
So in a way, this is kind of what was interesting to me is that like after the show, like all the heat that I saw was on the writers.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like Carmella and Ellsworth, clearly they're just doing
They're just doing what they're told.
Doing what they're
yeah.
told.
Yeah.
Like there was none of the bad heat was on Ellsworth. Ellsworth, just kind of does his thing. And
Like I think, and this doesn't excuse it, by the way. I think that someone probably thought that would be a funny ending to the match, without sort of realizing that. I think one of the writers thought that would be a good way to book the match without realizing how the marketing department or whatever was selling the weight of this match from a historical point, or maybe they just didn't care. So
that is also
that seems more likely. But.
So great for the characters. I'm actually glad that I'm glad that Carmella has the briefcase, to be honest. And I liked the reacting to the I liked the reacting to the outcry and stripping her of the belt and then having a rematch and getting the belt back on her. I liked all that too.
Yeah.
You'll never have a first women's Money in the Bank ladder match again.
Yeah.
So next time for the first, I don't know, I guess chamber? First women's elimination chamber, don't F it up.
Right.
Don't have Goldberg come in and start spearing everybody and he wins the match. Like,
no, wait a minute. 65-year-old Goldberg comes to the ring. Maybe I get behind that.
Throws his back out.
Right. Throwing that kick.
Yeah.
My sciatica.
So yeah, great match, weird ending, good ending from character perspective, bad ending from life.
Historical perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
Historical
But
perspective.
there you
There you
go.
it.
There you go.
Wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling.
SmackDown Tag Team Championship match is next. The Usos, who were successful in their defense against the Fashion Police, versus the New Day. It's great to see the New Day back now.
Yep.
The
New
Day are
Day.
back to their shenanigans on
Healed up?
SmackDown now. Yep, Kofi's back from his surgery.
Yeah.
I remember that Big E had a slight tricky catch. He was trying to catch one of the Usos in mid-jump and didn't quite
work out.
quite land it. But that seems like very, very hard to do, to stop another entire person from moving.
Yeah.
They had these gentlemen had a tough position to follow that match, but the crowd was still super into it. So shout outs to everyone involved, at least, because the crowd didn't just tune out or sign off for the rest of the show.
Right.
I like that Kofi still uses the SOS.
Yeah.
It's
a weird move.
It is weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Yeah. Doesn't do the boom drop anymore, which is fair. That was his old finisher.
Yeah.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
the boom drop?
When he was super Jamaican.
Yeah. No, 2009 was my best year. Take me back.
The
Still
SOS,
one of the best segments.
SOS was one of the moves where, the first time I saw him hit it, I needed to rewind it and watch it. I wasn't quite sure what I had just seen.
Yeah.
The Canadian Destroyer is a lot like that, too.
Yeah.
It's just like, what did I just see?
What just happened?
Hang on. His
Did
head
I just
went...
watch a man die?
Wow.
Yeah. God, what was the finish?
What was the finish, Graham? This is the one where the Usos just said enough of this. And
Oh yeah, they left.
Left.
Yeah. They lost. They won.
Right.
Oh,
They
right.
kinda-
Yeah. Big E put Jay on his shoulder. Kofi jumped off the top and hit with a DDT. But then, Jimmy pulled Jay out of the pinfall attempt, and then they just walked away.
Yeah.
And the referee called for the count out.
Saving this for a different event, apparently.
Yeah.
So, fair enough.
That's it. I don't know.
So,
I would rather have the Usos keep the belts for a very long time because I love the Usos as a heel team.
Oh, I
love their look and
their music is great.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I love that when you feel paranoia creeping up on the back of your neck promo they always cut. It's like it's not your fear, it's the Usos, bruh, and we're coming for you. It's like, fuck them up, Usos. I'm just all on board. Yeah, it was great.
By the way, because they aren't on this card, there was a Fashion Files. They've been switching up.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Didn't they fight the Ascension quickly in this pay-per-view? I'm pretty sure, because that's why I was holding off on saying it.
Oh, there's a bit later in the night, isn't there? Yes, you're right. Okay.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to wait.
We'll come back to it. Yeah. Next up is the SmackDown Women's Championship match with Naomi defending against
Lana?
The ravishing Russian.
Question mark?
Lana.
You know what I didn't like about this?
What?
How Lana was like, I want a title shot, and Shane McMahon was just like, okay.
Sounds good.
That was it. That was the story.
Yeah.
Well, she actually she wanted to be in the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And they're like,
You're Lana. No.
It's like, have you wrestled before? Because in kayfabe, Lana's been wrestling with NXT and stuff.
Yeah.
But
she was
in
that,
WWE, she was in the WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
And it's like, how many matches? Like they're like, how many matches have you had? Like one?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. It's like, no.
Can I have a title shot?
Yeah. It's like, and they're like, no. It was like, I want to be Money in the Bank. She's like, no. And she's like, okay. Then I want a title shot. And they're like, yep. It's like, how does that even make sense?
Sounds good. Thank you for asking so politely.
The other women on the roster were equally bemused.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, Naomi versus Lana.
It was all right. I don't know. There's not much to say.
I'm surprised they put Lana on a pay-per-view title match so soon.
Yeah. For her first match. Like, she did fine.
It was a match.
She's not a bad wrestler.
Yeah.
She'll get better as time goes on, but I feel like this was maybe on a little bit. I mean, it's a lot of times in wrestling, it's sink or swim. Mm-hmm. Like, you're just like, all right, go out there, and you fuck it up, then your career might be over. So it's just like there's a lot of pressure, right?
It was passable.
Yeah,
like, it was fine.
Yeah. So it's like, Lana lost.
Lana hits a sit-down spine buster on Naomi, and then starts pinning her. Naomi kicks out. Carmella's music hits.
Right.
Carmella skips down the ramp, goes to hand the briefcase to the timekeeper, and then is like,
Psych.
and decides not to. And honestly, because I haven't actually seen SmackDowns since Money in the Bank, I hope that she keeps doing that. I hope that Carmella just continually shows up and just teases that she's going to cash it in just to piss people off.
Mm-hmm.
Like not just the audience in the great heel way, but the competitors, just to be like, hey, what's up? I'm here, just messing with your mind. I think I'm just going to cash this. Actually, maybe.
Right.
Like that's great. That's such a great move.
Mm-hmm.
And then Naomi gets Lana into a submission. I don't know the name of the submission.
I don't think
Lana
it
taps
has
out.
a name.
Does it have a name?
I don't know. It probably does. Someone's going to tell us.
Excuse me.
What does Wikipedia
Check
say?
the comments.
Look it
The
up.
name will be there.
I could look it up. Let me see.
It's going to be something glow related.
What is it?
Head scissors crucifix choke. Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wow. She's actually been using that since 2014.
Oh, really?
It's got 3 different names. Slay Omission,
Okay.
Catchy.
the FTG, for
Feel the Glow.
Feel the Glow,
Feel the Glow.
or A Bad Place.
Yikes.
I think it's got to be FTG.
Yeah, and then the rear view, split leg moonsault, single Boston Crab. These are her various finishers through the years. Modified falling inverted DDT and headstand modified head scissors driver.
FTG's a fine name for that move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, rear view was a finisher from 2013 to 2016, uses a signature move thereafter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God.
She has a move called the Bootylicious, which is described as an inverted head scissors stink face to an oncoming opponent with theatrics.
With theatrics.
Love it. With theatrics is my favorite modifier of a move.
With theatrics.
With
Elbow
theatrics.
drop with theatrics.
That's the rock bottom. Or the people's elbow.
People's
Sorry.
elbow.
I meant the Rock's move, and I got confused.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then a Miami Vice
These are great.
version of the Fashion Files plays. It's Fashion
So
Vice
good.
with Breezango, and they play a VHS of 2 mysterious figures revealing that they were the ones who attacked them on SmackDown, because Breezango were attacked on SmackDown.
Yeah.
This is you remember me harping on the House of Horrors match and how they filmed it, right?
Yeah.
So one of these weeks they did one that was like film noir, right? It was like Fashion Files, the men who knew too little, and it was all in black and white, and the costumes were good, and the lighting was great. Like it was very, very noir lighting, and it was still shot like a backstage sports segment. So galling, but they did do a great fake out where Fandango walked into the room and it panned across like their destroyed office, and then over to the other side of the room, and there was a silhouette of a woman. And then it panned back to Breezango, or to Fandango, and then Tyler Breeze in a dress and wig walked in, and it had clearly not been his silhouette.
Yeah.
Right? That was pretty great. But yeah, so then the mysterious figures want to meet Breezango tonight. So a random,
We're gonna fight.
unannounced tag team match between Fandango and question mark?
Yeah.
Or Breezango and question mark?
Question mark.
Who's the question mark? I'm dying to
That's
know.
a weird thing to just throw into a pay-per-view match.
Hey man,
or a
what's,
pay-per-view
what's
card.
weirder, this or the time when Rusev and Jinder got beat up randomly?
That was weird, actually. That was probably weirder. Yeah. And then, because you mentioned this earlier, the next thing that happens is the debut of Maria and Mike Kanellis.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Maria Kanellis, formerly known as Maria, was a WWE diva who actually has not been with the company since 2010.
Jeez.
7 years.
Really?
Yeah. She was. She started as a backstage reporter. Did a bunch of in-ring stuff. Was actually not terrible in the ring. Her character was like complete airhead, bubbly idiot. She did a spread for Playboy back when it was basically once a year some WWE diva would pose for Playboy before they were PG.
Hashtag divas.
Yeah, and then WWE fired her because it was assumed at the time that they were worried about. Basically, they'd used her up. They were like, okay, we've had you for so many years. We got the Playboy shoot, and now you're just gonna, sooner or later, you, like everyone else who's gone through this process, is gonna leave and try to turn this into some sort of modeling career, and
Or acting career.
Yeah, and just we don't care to have you continue to use us as free publicity, basically.
Okay.
Turns out, Maria never left wrestling.
Yeah. Wow.
She went to ROH
Yeah.
and TNA and a bunch of indies, and yeah, she's been involved in wrestling as a competitor and a valet and manager this whole time.
Yeah.
And doing great work.
Yeah.
I recall I remembered this at the time that people were like, yeah, the backstage word is this is why they fired her, and then it was like 2 months later it was like, hey, Marie's in ROH, and it's like, what? Maybe she actually likes wrestling.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's back here with Maria and Mike Bennett under the stage name Mike Kanellis. Are they married in real life?
They're married in real
Yeah,
life.
they're married in real life.
Yep.
And the gimmick is that he's taken her name.
Yeah.
You see.
As a sign of true love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the only couple that is truly in love.
Yeah.
Out of any couple. That's what I got.
No one
No one
loves each other
as much as they love each
like
other.
those two love each other.
Yeah. And they make out.
Oh,
And of
man.
course, JBL is the one who's like, he took her name? It's like,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't know, man. I love poutine a lot. I might love poutine more than Mike loves Maria.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I do like, oh man, I want poutine.
Yeah.
I've had a really
Yeah.
good poutine
Don't we have
weekend,
poutine?
by the way.
Don't we have poutine
I
pizza
literally
pops?
I literally had poutine this morning with Matt.
Yeah.
Duck poutine
Where?
at a place in James Bay.
Yeah.
It's really good.
We have poutine pizza pops.
They're not good.
I devoured one of those yesterday. They're not good, but I devoured
Is it
one
like
yesterday
gravy in the middle?
because it's for our American watchers. It's a hot pocket with bad poutine in it.
Yeah.
Gravy. It's
For our Canadian
Does it have, like-
watchers, it's a pizza pop.
It's a pizza.
They don't have pizza pops in the
I
States.
didn't know what pizza pops.
But we don't
were.
have hot
They're
pockets.
Right.
So they're very similar.
They're awful, but as a visiting American, I felt compelled.
Normal pizza pops are great. We got the poutine pizza pops as a goof.
Dude,
Yeah,
being
yeah.
like, hey Americans, here's a super Canadian thing. It's a poutine pizza pop. You can't get either of these, and here you go. And everyone was a sport in that they ate some percentage of one of them.
I was the only sport that got to 100%.
Yeah.
A deliciously salty goof.
You could
Matt
tell.
ate the whole.
Not unlike myself.
You could tell that TJ and Ashland had never seen a pizza pop before because they started eating from the middle.
I was like, what is... They ate it like it was some sort of... I don't even know. Like, the
TJ
middle.
Ashland, I know you won't watch this, but
What is
I
happening
am
there?
disappointed. That's like the guy that takes a bite out of the Kit Kat, right out of the middle.
Yeah.
I was like, look, okay,
Some monsters just want to watch the world burn.
like we don't have Pizza Pops, the name, in the U.S., but we have a million things that are just like it. We have Hot Pockets and everything.
Yeah.
Like this is the shape of the food should not have been a foreign concept to them. And then they took a bite out of the middle.
Yeah.
Which is like, what are you doing?
That's so weird.
Very strange.
Yeah, that would have thrown me off.
Oh yeah, they actually show. Sorry, back to the pay-per-view. They actually show a tweet from Shane McMahon being upset about the women's match, saying this is not what I'd envisioned for the capitalized first ever women's MITB match. At Real Ellsworth and at Carmella WWE just robbed the hashtag WWE universe. So there you go.
That's one take.
With all this, do you think it was planned? This it was just that this was.
Did they know it would piss people off?
Yeah.
Maybe.
They may have underestimated it.
Yeah.
They may have been like, oh, that'll piss people off. And then we're like, oh, it did.
Yeah. Like,
It really did.
they had to have known.
Yeah.
Something
they had
was
to
gonna,
have.
right? This wasn't just your standard heel move.
Well, you say that, but they do all kinds of stuff that it's
Yeah,
like,
I
this is so
know.
obvious. Anyway.
No.
Randomly.
Yeah, but we're just dumbass smarks.
Yeah.
That's true.
Randomly, Greg Gagne, Larry Hennig, Baron von Raschke,
Yeah.
Baron von Raschke. The Claw.
Sergeant Slaughter, Cowboy Bob Orton, and Ric Flair are all at ringside
The entire AWA shows up.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
for the next match, which is the WWE Championship match with Jinder Mahal with the Singh brothers versus Randy Orton, who is a hometown boy.
Yep.
Which is why
You know what that
Cowboy
means.
Bob is there.
You know what that means. Your dad's at ringside and it's your hometown.
Oh,
I got bad news, son.
literally, you're going to literally die. Yeah.
How do you think the Jinder experiment's going?
I think it's going really well.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
It's pretty good, right?
We talked about it extensively last episode, but like,
I don't have much more to add than what we mentioned, but
yeah, I still don't like his character. We were talking about someone was talking about this on Twitter, being like, because we talked about like leaning into the whole no one out diets Jinder thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, how great would Jinder be as a Mark Marrow style character who's just like, he can call himself the modern day Maharaja, but his character is, I'm in way better shape than you, right? Like,
Right.
how great would that, listen up, you Alabama sweat hogs,
Yeah.
or whatever. What
I
was-
work harder than you.
Yeah,
I eat better than you.
I work harder than you. I diet harder than you. And look at me. I'm the champion. I'm Jinder Mahal. Deal with it.
yeah.
Right.
He's so much better than what they're doing with
For years, you kicked me around. I was in the 3-man band.
Yeah.
And then I decided, you know what? I'm going to take good care of myself. I'm going to be better than you.
Like,
I'm going to train harder than you.
Things from real life you can use. Jinder does not use WWE catering. He has like a third-party company send like pre-packaged meals.
Really?
Yeah, that someone posted a picture on the subreddit. They're addressed to Big Match Jinder, but they're like pre-portioned things of like roasted chicken and vegetables and stuff, because he's like super serious about what he eats, and he doesn't he doesn't like load up on WWE catering or whatever, and he's like very regimented in his diet. Like, use that, right? Be like, even the rest of the the roster are backstage pigging themselves at the at the catering table, and but I have the discipline. Like, there's so much you can
Oh,
use.
yeah. There's like
that's not, I'm brown and you don't like it.
He could just show clips of whoever he's wrestling just at the catering table.
Yeah, like,
look,
yeah.
but like
skits of the B Squad all eating, and he's
Yeah.
just like
We sent-
looking derisively down at them.
Yeah.
We sent Gold Dust backstage with a video camera. Oh, by the way,
yeah, fuck, we never mentioned.
on Raw, Golden Truth broke up.
Yeah.
And by broke up, I mean Gold Dust beat the crap out of R-Truth.
And everyone cheered.
And they cut. Did you see the promos they cut back? The video promos they cut back and forth.
I don't think so.
Oh, it was really good. It was
yeah.
it was like Shattered Dreams production, and it was Gold Dust was like like using movie quotes and talking about how it was,
going back to old Gold
It was
Dust.
old Gold
It
Dust.
really was. It was
was.
old school, and like how he's gonna make R-Truth see the light, stuff like that. And then it was like, and now like a R-Truth production, like What's Up Pictures presents, and it was him sitting in the same pose and him also cutting a really good promo.
Yeah, but like Gold Dust though?
No, like as
just-
himself.
As himself.
But like it's been really good. When's their rubber match? Great Balls of Fire or their
It
blow
must
off match?
be, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
but
real question is, are we going to see little Jimmy?
Oh,
Because I
Jimmy.
missed it.
We haven't seen him
Well, nobody's
in a
seen him.
while.
I still remember
Daniel Bryan had a
you
match
showing
with
me that
little Jimmy.
clip of Daniel Bryan kicking little Jimmy. And that was one of the best things I've ever seen. And bring back little Jimmy,
Yeah.
please.
So, Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton, how was this?
It was okay.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was It felt like it was the same match.
Yeah.
Singh brothers got involved. Randy Orton beat them up. He didn't actually murder them this time.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Last time, we forgot to actually mention it, but like, because we talked about him like throwing one of them over the announce table.
Yeah.
But then he like turned around and just right into camera was like, "Ugh."
Did you get that clip on there?
I think the clip is in there, but
because he's like,
he made this face where he's like, and then he like tried to play it off like he grabbed his shoulder, was like, I'm actually in pain. I'm actually just selling. Where he clearly was like, I just killed a guy. It was really funny.
yeah. At one point, Jinder, the big old mean foreigner invading American soil, gets in the face of Sergeant Slaughter and Cowboy Bob Orton.
Yeah.
Sergeant Slaughter has no fucking high ground in that situation, by the way.
True, right?
You Iraqi turncoat.
Traitor.
There was a storyline back in, it would have been 90, 91?
Yeah,
Somewhere around
Desert
there.
Storm.
Desert Storm. Sergeant Slaughter, who was pro-America, or his thing was...
He was like the greatest American hero.
He wasn't always like a heel or a face, though. Like
literally a G.I. Joe.
Yo, Joe.
There's a G.I. Joe of Sergeant Slaughter. He's a character in G.I. Joe and
Yeah.
in
in
the
a
movie.
movie, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, he became an Iraqi sympathizer.
Yeah, and so he teamed up with the Sheik or the Iron Sheik.
It was Iron Sheik as
as General Mustafa.
Colonel Mustafa.
Colonel
Yeah.
Mustafa.
Colonel Mustafa.
And so it was him. It was WrestleMania, wasn't it? It was Hulk Hogan go America.
WrestleMania 7.
WrestleMania 7. Hulk
Yeah,
Hogan
yeah.
versus Iraqi sympathizer Sergeant Slaughter. So yeah, Sergeant Slaughter's got no high ground.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. At one point, one of the Singh brothers like puts Jinder's foot up on the rope, and then Orton and the ref get into an argument about it, and then the ref sends the Singh brothers to the back.
Yeah.
Well, at one point, and Jinder Mahal takes this is blatantly stolen from OSW Review, but the double knee bump, when you take a bump like the pedigree or the arc, and you just like, you put you land on both your knees rather than flat on your stomach. That's the cane bump,
cane bump, yeah.
Cane double knee bump, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. Every time I see that, I'm like, oh, OSW Review, thanks for that.
Yeah. So Orton grabs one of the brothers, drops him back first over the announce table, grabs the other brother, clears off two announce tables, hits an RKO on one of them, hits an RKO on the second brother through the table, and then gets back inside the ring. Mahal kicks his knee out, hits him with his terrible finisher, and retains.
The Colossus.
Yeah. More Jinder. I can't wait for John Cena to come back and beat him at SummerSlam. USA. USA. USA.
That's going to be what happens, yeah.
Because John Cena's come back July 4th to SmackDown.
Breezango comes out, and we get to find out who beat them up on SmackDown. Spoilers, it's the Ascension.
Womp womp. This is like a 30-second match, too. Doesn't Breezango just beat the crap out of them?
They have a match, I think so.
Is that longest reigning NXT Tag Team Champions, the Ascension?
This match is
That Ascension?
That Ascension.
3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yep.
Wow.
3 minutes.
It's very brief. But Breezango were fun.
Brief Zongo.
Brief Zongo.
And
The Ascension, no.
last
Descension.
match for the card and last match for this episode, which is good because you got to go in like 15 minutes.
Oh, good.
The Money in the Bank ladder match for the SmackDown World Title, or the WWE World Championship is actually the specific name of it. AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the WWE United States Champion Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Money.
Man, what a
stacked match.
That's,
Right?
dang.
I was really mad. So at the beginning, when everyone's doing their entrances and Shinsuke does his, they bamboozle us, man. I was so mad. Baron Corbin comes out and attacks Shinsuke during his entrance.
While his strobes are going,
Yeah.
Baron
Yeah.
Corbin just comes out,
You son of a bitch.
beats the tar out of Shinsuke. Yeah,
You just robbed those people of singing his song. That's what I was mad about.
yeah.
I was like, come on, man. The crowd just wants to sing Shinsuke. What if that was the first time of someone seeing Shinsuke and they just wanted to sing the song?
Well, they'll have an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Quick aside, what do you think of Nakamura's entrance? Is it played out? Do they need to switch it up?
No, it's good.
Okay. They can keep that going for a while.
I want them to change their font back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't get me and Graham started on that font.
By the way, I looked this up because the font looked kind of familiar, but I wasn't like
the new font.
Yeah, the new font,
Yeah.
but I wasn't like totally sure what it was. And I honestly should have recognized it because it's actually a pretty famous font. It's a font called Banco, and it's the font of that is used. It's been used for a bunch of stuff, but most people have probably seen it as the masthead of Thrasher magazine, the skateboard magazine.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and so you see like Thrasher hoodies all over.
Yeah.
So it's the same font as that, and it's been used for a bunch of stuff over the years. It was on the cover of Bob Marley's one of the Bob Marley albums. I can't remember what. So it's that font. It doesn't make it any better for Shinsuke Nakamura. Look completely out of place and just yellow with a drop shadow.
Man, is Shinsuke to make an entrance on a skateboard and then do a grind on the rail? Like, hey kids, and then double finger guys people and he's like grinding by.
But yeah,
A Skater magazine and a Bob Marley album. How did I miss that?
Yeah.
That's insane.
So I stand by my derision of the font, but I'm annoyed with myself that I didn't recognize it because it's a famous one. Yeah. Anyway, Shinsuke's the second last person to enter. Corbin enters, beats him up with all the ladders that they've been keeping up at the top of the entrance ramp so may as well use them for something.
Yeah.
And then he enters the ring and is yelling for them to ring the bell to start the match.
Yeah.
And the referees have a brief conversation and they're like, "I guess start the match."
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, have we basically said before that Money in the Bank ladder matches are generally always great?
Yeah.
Like,
always good.
We talked about the women's match was great up until the ending, and this was a really good match. There's just there's too many cool things to talk about. Really, there's good Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens stuff.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler does crazy selling. Baron Corbin is big, and I like him a lot.
Dude, I love Baron Corbin.
He was kind of a monster in this match too, right?
Fuck,
Throughout the
he's
whole
been
thing.
great. I mean, we've been fans of him for like almost the duration of this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're just always on board, and I'm just getting more on board. I think Baron Corbin is like probably one of the best examples of like a modern day, the way to do a modern day kind of build of a character or push of someone, not like don't do it all of a sudden, just do it slowly, man. That's all we want. We want people to earn it or feel like they've earned it.
Everything AJ Styles is doing is great.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not conflating ladder matches. This is where there was a ladder between the turnbuckle and the barricade at one point. And who tries to go through it and just sort of bounces out? Does Corbin deep six
Yes.
Yeah.
onto it, but he doesn't break the ladder,
go
it sort of
through.
bounces off it?
Right.
Jeez.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go watch this match.
Right.
It's
then
great.
Corbin is climbing the ladder at one point later in the match. Corbin sort of cleared the ring and he's climbing the ladder, and Nakamura's music hits.
Yeah. Yay.
Nakamura comes back out. The music stops almost immediately because he's involved in the match, but the crowd keeps singing. They're like, "No, we're doing this." So
Right.
You're not taking this from
there's no music, and the whole crowd just like, "Oh!" It's really funny.
I thought for sure Nakamura was winning this after that.
Yeah.
Some really good Styles Nakamura.
Oh my god.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't
so
wait
that
till
was the moment of the match. And so Nakamura like fights around with Corbin, gets him out of the ring, and then he's got the ladder there, and AJ Styles is on the other side of the ladder, and they're looking at each other through the ladder, and then they without saying anything, they both pick up the ladder, move it over to the side of the ring, put the ladder down, and then they're like, "Okay, we have to sort this out."
Such a great moment.
It was terrific because everyone's like,
this is what we want.
"Yeah."
But I'm glad they're not giving it to us like
The
just
whole
randomly.
match.
Yeah.
But it was
Because we are going to get a Nakamura AJ Styles main event for a world title
at some point.
at some point.
Yeah. It was, but like what little of back and forth with them we did see was really good.
Yeah.
And so then they trade elbows. Nakamura hits Styles with an exploder suplex. Then they get the ladder back. They're both climbing up the ladder. They're like swinging back and forth the ladder. And then Baron Corbin comes back in.
Yep.
pushes the ladder over. Styles and Nakamura fall into the ropes. Corbin climbs up the ladder and grabs the briefcase. And Baron Corbin, Mr. Money in the Bank.
Yep.
I'm super excited about that.
Super happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it fits so well with his character, the way his character acts too.
Yeah.
Like he is like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like groomed for this this situation. This character has been pushed to the point where having the money in the bank and being able to like torment people that he thinks he's better than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I could beat you anytime I want, but now I can really beat you anytime I want, kind of thing. So.
Yeah.
I'm taking your title. It's a matter of time.
Yeah.
You're not going to see it coming. It wouldn't matter even if you did.
Yeah.
Because I'm better than you.
I'll still beat you. Like.
And what I loved about this also with the competitors is that it's like, this is such a dick thing to say. I didn't think Ziggler was going to win it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think it made sense for his character. I didn't think AJ was going to win it because I didn't think it made sense for his character. Because he's at the other end of that spectrum.
Yeah.
Right? I could easily have seen Kevin Owens winning it and being like, hey, I'm the face of America and Mr. Money in the Bank. Look at me. Mm-hmm. And then maybe even getting both titles at some point. Who knows?
Yeah.
Sami Zayn obviously is always a potential. Nakamura, especially after, and I actually think this was really smart to not have Nakamura around for the whole match, right? To have him get like waylaid at the beginning, so that he just wasn't there the whole time.
Yeah,
you know, like using him
sparingly.
Yeah, they're really kind of
And then also Baron Corbin. I was like, I could absolutely see Baron Corbin coming out of this with it, and I think that was a great choice.
Yeah. I just think Money in the Bank works better for heels than it does faces.
Generally.
The sort of torment that he now casts a shadow over, whoever the champ happens to be. So.
Yeah, and then it's like, is he going to cash it in? Is he not? Who knows?
Yeah.
Like the day they let Sami Zayn win and then someone just cashes it on him immediately and we all cry. Right?
Like Sami Zayn wins the title and Baron Corbin's just like, what's up?
Yeah.
Wham.
Yeah. Like
that's totally going to happen
Daniel
too.
Bryan, like, how heartbroken were we?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when Daniel Bryan beats John Cena clean and then Randy Orton just immediately cashes in and we're just like, holy
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were all mad.
But then later we got the greatest cash in probably ever with Rollins at Mania.
Yeah, that's true.
That was really good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
That's probably one of the best,
Yeah. But anyway, I love what Money in the Bank does storytelling wise. Just having that, it's just such an interesting potential story thing to have there with the briefcase.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, they can, Corbin could still lose, but this at least is a good sign that like they believe in him enough that it doesn't seem ridiculous to have it on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's good. So overall, quite enjoyed Money in the Bank as well.
Yeah. A few hiccups, but that's life.
Yeah.
that's just wrestling. Like,
two enjoyable shows.
Looking at the whole card, actually, Money in the Bank was probably a little more lackluster than perhaps I may have just said. Like, the women's match was great, apart from the ending.
Yeah.
New Day and the Usos was entertaining. Mm-hmm. Naomi and Lana was fine. The title match was actually only just sort of fine with Randy and Jinder.
Yeah.
I did not care about the Ascension. I'm really sorry. I wish I want to care. I want to be in a position to care about the Ascension, but I currently don't.
I like the Fashion Files.
The Money in the Bank match,
obviously.
But. Oh yeah, Fashion Files is great. But yeah, the Money in the Bank match again, which was just under half an hour, was really, really good. So
yeah.
Both these pay-per-views had really, really good main events.
Yep.
And then the next one, we're recording this on a Sunday. I don't know when you're going to see it. I'm going to do it as soon as I can. But
Happy Sunday, everybody.
The next actual pay-per-view is this coming Sunday, which is
Great Balls of Fire.
Great Balls of Fire.
Great Balls of Fire. It's
But hey, Samoa Joe's going to fight Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
And
I can't wait.
I imagine that match will be stiff.
Please give it longer than 5 minutes. I swear to God, if it's a 5-minute match, I will riot.
Like, they've made it believable, right?
Yeah.
They've made Joe believable as someone who could beat
Even
Brock.
on the build-up, like, I watched some of the clips leading...
Because they've actually faced off now.
Yeah, and, like, Joe got Brock in a real good chokehold. Joe's choked out Paul Heyman at one point. Yeah, it's great.
And
in such a great way,
like
too. Oh, my God.
Having Joe beat Brock would be a great way to have someone believably beat Brock
Joe wins.
and bring the title back to Monday Night Raw.
Please.
Because right
Could you
now,
imagine having a wrestling television show where your main championship shows up on the show every once in a while?
what a concept! I wonder if they've
So
thought
excited.
of that.
I don't want to get too excited because if Joe loses, I'll be real upset.
Just go in with that assumption.
Yeah.
But I don't want.
There are ways Joe could lose that I won't hate, but I don't trust them to choose one of those.
Yeah.
And please let Joe win.
like
Be great.
Joe choking out Brock Lesnar in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, be good.
That crowd would be hot.
That is,
I'm begging you.
That is going to do it for this week because we got to get Matt onto a boat so he can go home.
On a boat, yo.
So, as always, hit me up on Twitter if you want. I'm at Graham_LRR. Adam is
At Wake Up Super. At Wake Up Super.
Wake Up Super. And Matt,
Is there going to be a graphic here that
There will.
they're pointing at right
Yeah.
now, or am I just like doing
No.
a Great Balls of Fire thing? You can hit me up at Tabak Rules. Please let me know.
Tabak rules, brother.
That's right.
because he was the
Oh, I need one of those. So it's a magic thing because I used to work on
Yeah,
the
I
rules
know
for
that,
game.
but you need a Hulk rules, like a Tabak rules.
Yeah, I
shirt.
should get that shirt made.
Tabak still rules, brother.
Tabak still rules, brother.
And this show and everything we do is brought to you by our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Please check that out. We really appreciate it. It lets us do all the things that we do. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you
so
guys.
much for
This was
having
this was awesome.
This was great to have you. It was super fun to chat, and I hope that everyone at home enjoyed it as well. I know that some people have been asking for the people in our fan
asking
base
for it.
who are into both magic and wrestling have been like, please. So hopefully, hopefully this will have sated that thirst at least for the time being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Anytime you guys want to have me up and give me homework of watching wrestling, I'm down.
Yeah.
So
happy to.
It's all good.
You can just tell your wife, like, sorry.
I got to watch this wrestling.
Work.
Sorry. All right. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.